Don't know why you left me bleeding. With a broken heart, tell me if I deserve this feeling. I thought that you know that we had something special till you end up all this way. Please tell me why you left me bleeding. With a broken heart, tell me why I deserve this feeling.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Master Tier. I can hear my voice in the background. I'm not sure if that's entirely true, but this is day 2 of the draft. And we will be going through 80 Master players with you guys over the next half an hour. And below me, I do have the wonderful Heggy.
Hello. I don't know what we did so well yesterday, but we've been invited back for day 2, the Romas. So let's keep the vibes rolling, yeah?
Indeed. And, well, so 80 were chosen yesterday and 80 will be chosen today. Obviously, if your name doesn't show up now I'd start getting concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. But as you can see, there's the beautiful prize pool. Some nice money to be won there if you win your tiers of the RSC Cup. So that'll be a nice little pocket money for you.
Indeed. So the Master Tier, £500 then. Quite a nice bit of bank in your pocket, if I do say so myself. And as we wait for the first picks to come round, we should see some pretty good names that weren't called yesterday. So pick number 80, this was yesterday, Dash 1865. Be pick number 4 for Azteca. But we will move on to Sanctuary then with pick number 81.
Yeah, pick number 81, we have Sanctuary here. And let's see who it is. Yazin, solid player at 1830 CMV. Great pick by the Sanctuary lads.
Yeah, so obviously Sanctuary choosing Cal, Bola, Pocket Beast and Monkey Mode, which Danny mistakenly called Monkey Moon yesterday. But yeah, pick number 82 for Green Phoenix, and it will be Felix 1915, and he will be alongside Ibby, Mike, Clean and Mimical, Hecky.
Yeah, that's a great team so far, looking very strong. Felix, a household name in RSC as well. So that's going to be interesting to see how that goes for them. And next up, Fort Templar, pick 83. They pick Smashy. He's very well known. I believe he was a bubble player many moons ago. Still relevant today at 2150 CMV.
Yes, definitely. He's been alongside Sentry, Bertram, Decop and Tomster. And pick number 84 will be coming around the corner. That'll be 20R. And they have chosen on this 5th pick 2M 1950 CMV. Yeah.
A lot of names I'm not too familiar with at the moment, but you know, I'm a low tier. I don't know the goats just yet. But
are we on about that massive goat list you had yesterday for Challenger?
I got so many messages about that, you know. Why am I not on the goat list?
Pick number 85, Forge. That is Dem for 1815. Alongside him, yesterday's picks, we have Goober, QB, Ripperay, and Surf.
Yeah, again, it's a solid looking roster. Wolfie definitely knows what he's doing this draft. So let's see how that goes for them.
Upcoming next then, Panthera Esports. Pick number 86, their 5th pick. Who have we got here? Let's see the reveal. We have Traske at 1885.
Yeah, Traske is a solid player, especially for that CMV, so that's a steal for Panthera. Cheb's doing his work. I like that.
He'd be alongside by Man Rapids for this side. And Alpha Surge, pick number 87, round 5, TY77, 2150, another high-rated CMV. Hecky?
Yeah, I believe that's Tyre. He was on my Premier team last season. Cool guy, cool player. He's got the mechs of a god, so that's going to be cool to see.
Pick number 88, coming round the corner, that'll be Systema, Solaris, and who have they chosen here? They have chosen Metrins 1820. He'll be alongside Hollux, Brover, Furus, and Fix.
Yeah, a name I'm not overly familiar with, but kind of mid-tier, so that's middle of the range pick for Systema Solaris.
Symbiotes then, Nichols, RL, 1815.
Yeah, again, a name I'm not overly familiar with, but he must have done quite well in tryouts. He's been drafted by Symbiotes.
That's Ali, Kingsman, Gas, Dansku, and Llama, the 4 picks from yesterday. As we move on to Azteca now. And Azteca's 5th pick will be Kesha RL, 1930, alongside Dash, Joker, Turbo, and DMY.
Yeah, Kesha's got some good tunes, so that's it's going to be a nice little sing-along for them in VC.
TikTok. Shadow Esports then. Their 5th pick will be Doggytron, 2150.
Yeah, best CMV for the name, Doggytron. 2150, quite high up, so we'll have to see if he can fit into the roster.
Team Serene up next, pick number 92. And their 5th pick. 4th pick even. Oh well, one of the names seems to be missing, and that's Cham, 1905, their 5th pick.
Yeah,
Rose Blush,
Cham.
SK.
Oh, that's going to be a good roster. I'm excited to see how that cooks up for Pegasus and the boys.
Pick number 93, Illusory. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Dan 6, 1770, quite low CMV there, alongside Wix, Wabatai, Marvels, and Miller.
Yeah, I believe that's minimum, if not very close to minimum. So he's definitely brought in to be the 4th man and allow them to stack a good 3 main roster, I assume.
Legend Mania, pick number 94, and their 5th pick will be Jaffa. That is a keeper AGM of Legend Mania, of course.
Yeah, Jaffa, great player, has been around for a while now. It's good to see him in the AGM spot as well. So that's going to be quite exciting for him. That's going to be cool to see.
Panthera Esports, their 5th pick will be Genzo. That'll be alongside Traske, Ish, Rapids, Bossalasi, and Hylia.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good team. Hylia and Genzo together will cook. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see how that goes for them.
Pick number 96 then will be going the way of Might of Hades. And Might of Hades have chosen here Josh, 1890, alongside Kylio, Larson, Verify, and Reshiram.
Yeah, that's a solid team. Josh is a really good player, especially for the CMV. So that's again a good pick for Might of Hades. With those teammates as well, that's going to be a really solid team.
Pick number 97 then, and Brave Esports will have Khan, 2150, top range of the CMV again, alongside Jeffo, Pesky, NC, and Heinz Ketchup 03.
Yeah, I've had Khan on one of my teams. I believe it was the RS. Played really, really well. So it's good team still going. He's peaking as well, so that's great. Excited to see that one.
Monna Khan says the chat pick number 98 coming shortly, and that'll be going to Deathcloud Esports. We'll see who have been selected here. They will be alongside Potato Crisps, Evig, and Shade, and this is Bidness 1840, Heggy.
Yeah, Bidness, a name I think I've seen around. I can't recall the gameplay, but he must be good if he's 1840 CMV, the rumours.
Definitely stepping in on Bidness this time round, being chosen pick number 5 at Deathcloud. Vulpers Esports then, Faith 1895, alongside Oleon, Trixer, Vixt, and Jerku.
Yeah, Vulpers must have had faith in this pick.
We're gonna keep them rolling at this point, I feel. We've started now. And pick number 100 then, the last of this 20. And for IDSQ Esports, and that is ASIC 2075. And you're going to be sick of seeing these picks by the end of today, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, these puns, they're going to keep coming. You're going to keep hating on them, but we ain't going to stop.
Here is the summary then, from 81 to 100. Any standout names there for you, Heki?
Yeah, absolutely. Felix, as I said, been around for a while. He's very well known in the community. It's cool to see him go into a good team with Green Phoenix. Car to Brave Esports. That's going to be a really cool thing to see. Hopefully he can, be the carry player that they maybe hope he can be.
Charm being a standout name according to Mark C there.
Yeah, Charm. That'll be a good player for Team Serene. 1905, so they could fit some good players around that.
So round number 5 complete. We move swiftly on to round number 6 after we see ASIC one more time here. And now we move on to pick 101, round 6 now. Team Serene, they have picked Drino at 1905 CMV.
Yeah, Drino's a player I've seen around for a little while now. That CMV, he's great because you can put some players around that can play really well around that. So that's going to be interesting to watch.
Pick 102 around the corner, round 6, and that'll be for Panthera Esports. And here we are then, Panthera Esports choice number 6 will be Ripped at 1880 CMV.
Yeah, Ripped at 1880. That's again a solid pick for that CMV. He could be a lot higher, so that's good for Panthera.
And round 6, pick number 103 for Deathcloud Esports goes the way of Slothy at 2075. Bidness was the earlier pick today.
Yeah, Slothy is again a name I've seen around at 2075, quite high up. So maybe they're hoping they can fit some lower plays with him, see if they can get the synergy rolling. And that's pick 103 from Deathcloud.
Looks like a good group of players there for Deathcloud as we move on to Brave Esports. 6th choice here will be Subzan AGM 1835.
Yeah, Subzan, my goat. We've hung around once or twice at RSC LAN. He was really cool.
There's the goat list.
He's add one up, bro. Add one in. Add Subzan into the goat list. He's there.
Let me just write that down. Another name into the book there. That's Subzan. And we wait for pick number 105 here. 105 going the way of Might of Hades, and they have selected, alongside Josh for today, will be Con at 1850.
Yeah, I know some people in chat are going to be hyped about Con being picked. But Might of Hades, 1850, that's a solid pick for them. Con's a decent player. So well done to Kev for picking that guy.
Moving swiftly over to pick 106, round 6, DSQ Esports. They have chosen alongside ASIC today, I'm going to call him Woozy at 1990.
Yeah, Woozy, a name I'm not familiar with, again, but must be good because he's 1990. So DSQ just trying to get in the good players right now.
Pick number 107 going the way of Legend Mania. Legend Mania have chosen today Endings 1850, and it was alongside Jaffa's pick as well today. So Endings being the 6th pick there for Legend Mania.
Yeah, solid pick for Legend Mania. Ending's been around for a few seasons now. Always shown up. So great pick by Legend Mania.
Illusory up next then, pick 108. And that will be Sam Folio, 1845, Dan 6 chosen earlier on.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a really strong roster to rumours. Illusory are really peaking this draft by the looks of it.
Can't wait to see how they get on during the season, during the Master event, during the Master League, apologies. And we move on to 109 now, Team Serene. Who have they gone for? They had Adreno the first time around, they've gone for April 1865 the second time round today.
Yeah, April, really good player. She's worth every drop of CMV. So solid pick by Team Serene there.
March wins, April showers, soon the league will be ours. I'm sure they'll be chanting as we move on to Vulpes Esports. And Dark 9215 1865 there, Hecky.
Yeah, 1865 is a great CMV for Dark. He's a really good player. So what a steal for Vulpes.
Steal 1865. You reckon he's worth more than that, Heggy?
Yeah, you could put him low 1900s pretty fairly, I think.
Azteca then up next, and that is Faxen 1860, and it was a long time Kesha for this pick.
Yeah, Faxen, really good player. Had him on my team a while back. I believe that was in Elite, so he's obviously peaking. And well done, Faxen.
Apologies if you got some water ASMR there as I was taking a sip. This microphone does pick up an awful lot as we move on to Symbiotes 112 round 6. They've gone for Bass Z 1865 alongside Nicholas for today's pick.
Yeah, a name I'm not too familiar with, Bazzi, but Symbiotes and Asterix obviously know what's going on with Baz, so good pick for those.
Pick number 113 going the way of Systema Solaris. And we wait for the refresh rate to pop up, and there we go, Systema Solaris. They have gone for, I'm going to say that's Jacob at 1880.
It's Jacob, I believe.
Jacob?
Jacob. Maybe a wordplay on Jacob, but I don't know.
A misspelling of Jacob. He's put the A before the C.
114
Legend Mania Ember 2025 alongside Endings.
Yeah, Ember's a really good player, been around for a long time. Worth the CMV, maybe a little bit more as well. So really good pick for Legend Mania. I'm surprised he's not gone earlier than round 6, to be honest.
Yeah, well, as you see, CMV is quite high as well, so maybe that's a bit of a factor. But 115 Shadow Esports, lovely cans, 1850, alongside Doggytron today.
Yeah, lovely cans, the Irish goat. Had him on my team a while back. He's an absolute pleasure. 1850, what a steal. He's a really good player.
That's another little goat list.
Maybe we can add lovely cans to the goat list.
Pick number 116 going the way of Forge, and that is R6 Fighter. You're not playing Rainbow Six this time round, but you are 2030 CMV.
Yeah, Rainbow Six Fighter. Maybe signed up for the wrong league, but we're happy to have you here. Pick number 116 for Forge.
Pick number 117, 20R. Who have they gone for? It will be Haz alongside 2M today, Hecky.
Yeah, Haz, a name I'm not familiar with, I don't believe, but 1820, pick number 117. 20R seem to be cooking up right now.
4 Templar are up next for pick 118. And what have we got here? We have Peachy Boy at 2140. Quite a high CMV again. That's 2 high CMVs for 4 Templar. They've had Smashy and Peachy Boy.
Yeah, it looks like they only keep one of them, so they're going to be on a head-to-head clash, maybe, to be kept onto the roster.
Well, keep one of them because you got Tomster as the first pick, which is also 2150 as well. So,
Oh,
gotta keep an
jeez.
eye out for that one. Green Phoenix picks Zfez at 18.95, Hecky.
Yeah, I'd have guessed Fez as well. 1895, pick 119 for Green Phoenix.
Sanctuary up next, and that'll be the last of this half at 120, and we'll see. Still plenty of names left to go here, but Sanctuary have chosen Storm at 1920 alongside Yazan for today.
Yes, Storm, a name I'm not familiar with, but last pick for round 6, and Sanctuary cooking with that one, maybe.
So yeah, here is the summary from 101 to 120. Still, I'd say around 40 names left to go. Maybe less than 40 because we say about 35 left to go. But yeah, so here's your summary 101 to 120. Again, Hecky, any standout names for you? Obviously, Subzan being the AGM as well, but
Yeah.
biggest standout names there?
Ember for me is the biggest standout name. He could have gone easily in the first round, maybe even the first 2 rounds. Lovely Cans, really, really good for that CMV. Could have gone in round 3, maybe 2. Peachy Boy again, really good player. Could have gone earlier, but like you said, the high CMV, it's tough to fit them in. So, yeah. What about yourself? Never mind, we don't have time.
Well, before I can even talk, we move straight to 1-1 here. Alpha Surge being the 121st pick of this Master Draft, and who have we got here? We have Ocean, who's been picked alongside TY77.
Yeah, Ocean, a name I'm not familiar with, maybe a new player, needs to prove himself to the Alpha Surge staff. So that's going to be interesting to see.
Ocean 11, 12, 13. This is season 14, so maybe we can see an addition to that one onto his name later on. Panthera Esports, Latox 1935, alongside Ripped and Genzo for today's picks.
Yeah, Latox, again, a name I'm not overly familiar with, but Cheb seems to know what he's doing. He's a good GM, so if he's picked you, you're obviously proving yourself.
They were all around the same CMV ballpark as well, so it's quite interesting to see. But Fort Templar is going to be D-Lynch keeper for them, 1805, obviously.
Yeah, D-Lynch, put him in the GOAT list. He's great. Really cool guy. I've had him on my team for a few seasons, and he's always been a pleasure. Great captain. He's going to be a great addition to Fort Templar. So, well done.
Name taken down on that goal list. Pick number 1, 2, 4, 20. We'll go to Blitzy 1945 CMV alongside Haz and 2M for today.
Yeah, Blizzy again, a household name in RSC. 1945 is a great CMV for him. So 20 are cooking up with that one.
Pick number 125 will go the way of Waffle Warrior 36 at 1935 CMV alongside R6 Fighter and Dem for today, Hecky.
Yeah, Waffle Warrior, what a name. That is one of the names of all time, the rumours.
Definitely sounds like a stock console name, I can assure you that one.
That is so true. When you make a new Xbox account, it gives you like a random name.
Yeah. Pick number 126, then we have Marvin at 1925.
Yeah, Marvin, a name I'm not familiar with, but again, Chebs with Panthera knows what he's doing, so well done, Marvin. You've gone to a good franchise.
Pick number 127 around the corner, and that is going to Death Cloud Esports. And we shall see what name pops up here. And we have Valenci at 1920.
Yeah, Valenci, again, quite a known player, quite a solid all-round player. So 1920 for that is a good price. So well done, Death Cloud.
Systema up next for pick number 128 here in the Master Draft. What do we see for them? Systema Solaris. They will have Onyx 47, 2075.
Yeah, great pick by Systema Solaris. I remember seeing Onyx, I believe in some not tryouts, the combines, and he was popping off there. So
Good to hear. Symbiotes will be up next for 129, pick number 7. And who have they gone for here? They have gone for Hardler at 1915 CMB, alongside Baz, Z, and Nichols for today's picks.
Yeah, that's hardly a tough choice. He's a really good player. So great pick by Symbiotes there.
Azteca will be up next, 130, and they have gone for Charm at 2090 alongside Faxen and Kesha for today.
Yeah, Charm, again, a household name in RSC, a really good player. 2090 CMV, worth it. So solid pick for Azteca Esports there.
Pick number 131 will go to Fotis, Panthera Esports, 1905.
A name I'm not familiar with, maybe a new player, but again, Chebs and Panthera, they know what they're doing, so you've obviously done something right to go there.
Team Serene then, pick number 132, and we have Zobas at 1950 alongside April and Dreamo for today.
Yeah, Zobas, a name again I'm not familiar with, but Team Serene, wanting to pick him up, maybe he's impressed in tryouts.
Illusory, pick number 133, and of course, the man, the myth, legend, Raho, 1810.
You know where he's going. He's going on the GOATS list. Rahu is...
He's going on the GOATS list. Get it.
He's a really cool guy, really cool to hang around with. So...
I could stand by that one as well. No bias whatsoever. Legend Mania, pick number 134, and we have Shoya at 1900. Alongside Ember and Endings and Jaffa for today.
Yeah. Again, a name I'm not overly familiar with, but worth the CMV, so we'll take it.
It's Shoya Lax in chat celebrating the fact that he's been picked. Pick number 135, DSQ Esports, and that's Dortzy at 2020 alongside Wizzy and ASIC for today.
Yeah, Dortzy at 2020. Not a name I'm familiar with, but I know that DSQ know what they're doing.
Panthera Esports 136, Scrub B 2035, Fotis Marvin Latox chosen for today.
Yeah, high CMV player, but definitely a name that's been around for a little while. Worth it, so well done.
Pick number 137 coming your way, and that'll be Brave Esports. And they have chosen here Tommy D27 at 1925 alongside Subzan Khan for today.
Yeah, Tommy D27, a name that again has been around for a few seasons. So great pick by Brave, and I hope he enjoys his time there.
Pick number 138, Death Cloud Esports. Up they come, and they have gone for 2DS Luxy at 1910, alongside Valenci, Slothy, and Bidness for today.
Yeah, again a great pick, and he's going to do really well for the franchise.
Vulpes Esports, Loxley 2005 at pick number 139, alongside Dark 9215. Faith and Faith for today. Loxley, anything about him, Hecky?
A name I'm not familiar with, but he's obviously impressed Vulpes, so we'll take that.
Now coming up to the final part of this third part, then DSQ Esports, and that'll be Thomas at 1910, alongside Doherty, Wizzy, and ASIC.
Yeah, if it's the Thomas, I think it is. He's a great player. Worth the CMV. Could have gone a lot earlier in draft, but DSQ must be cooking something up with that one.
So there are your 121 to 140 today. Waffle Warrior, Charm, Onyx, and then Raho obviously being a keeper there. Any key players you can see there, Hecky, for this section here?
Yeah, D-Lynch is a really good player for his CMV, so that's going to be a really, really good time for Fort Templar.
So, as we come up to the final section of the Master Players today, and it'll be DSQ again, so they have a double-header pick here, 140 and 141. We'll see their 8th pick, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th pick, and that is Levantis 2015.
Yeah, DSQ collecting these players like they're Pokemon, they're getting everyone. But they must have a plan, so they're sticking to it with Levant at 2015.
Well, Panthera have 10 already, and they're coming up again later on,
goodness.
so they're gonna have a wonderful time trying to choose a team there. Vulpes Esports, though, pick number 142, and it'll be Shinji at 2035. Loxley, Dark, and Faith being the ones chosen for today.
Yeah, Shinji, and they I'm not familiar with, but quite high in the CMV. Going to be tough to squeeze them in with the players they've got, but maybe they'll be able to.
Pick number 143, Death Cloud Esports, and that is Meadow at 2065 alongside Luxy, Valencia, and Slothy. And Bidness for the picks today, so this is their 9th player as well.
Well, everyone's stacking up on master picks. I don't know why. Maybe they didn't really know what to do with master, so they've just tried to get as many people as they could, so they can have as many different potential teams.
Well, there will be a couple of weeks of tryouts up and coming, essentially to try and eliminate, but Brave Esports pick 144, and that'll be Sammy 2150, high rated this late on. Hecky.
Yeah, usually if they're high rated this late on, it means their name isn't too known, so people don't really want to take the risk. But Brave have been brave and taken a risk here with Sammy.
Let's take a look then at the next pick, 145. Panthera Esports again, and that's Noxvas at 2150. This is their 12th pick now, and another high-rated player, Hecky.
Yeah, they're picking everybody. Again, like DSQ, they're catching Pokemon right now. They, no one can beat them if they have all the players. Might be Chebs' mindset on this one.
Just collect them all, figure it out from there. 146 DSQ Esports will have Ter at 2150 again. Another high-rated pick this late on.
Yeah, Tier's a genuine good player. I believe he's a freestyler for quite a big community. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can convince DSQ to keep him on.
Legend Mania up next then, 147. Obviously the picks getting more and more, and it'll be more and more difficult to separate these players, but Lindhart is the choice of Legend Mania for this 8th pick, and he's 2090 CMV.
Yeah, Lindhart is a name I believe I've seen around. 2090 is quite high, not as high as some of the previous picks, but quite high nonetheless. So let's see if he can prove his worth to Legend Mania.
Couple of excited reactions there by Shoya in the chat. Illusory 148 will be Nasig at 2095 alongside Raho and Samfolio today.
Yeah, and again, a name I'm not familiar with, but quite high up. He must be a good player. So maybe he can impress Illusory and the team.
Coming up to the final couple now, 149 for Team Serene, and it is going to be Sunny 2150 again. Another risk that people weren't willing to take with this player potentially, alongside Zobas, April, and Drino for today.
Yeah, Sunny's a name I've seen around. He's a solid player. He's definitely worth the CMV. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep him on, maybe.
Pick number 150, and we're almost there for the Master and Panthera Esports one more time. Of course it is. It's going to be KJ at 2150, and this is like their 13th pick now.
Yeah, I believe they've got one more pick as well, so we'll see. But KJ, solid player, 2150 is worth it. So we'll have to see if he can stay with the team.
So up next is Azteca Esports pick 151, Thuba at 2150, and as you said, Hecky, Panthera are up again in this master choice. But Thuba, Hecky, any idea?
I've seen him in chat before, asking if anybody's drafted him. Thuba, if you're here, you've been drafted by Azteca, so congratulations.
Can confirm he is there and he is celebrating in chat. So, Symbiotes pick 152, Riho 2150.
Yeah, Riho, solid player. He's been on my Premier team a little while ago. He's a really good player, so it's going to be interesting to see if Symbiotes can keep him on the roster.
Coming up to the final 3 picks then, Systema Solaris are going to be the third to last pick here. Pick 153, so we're almost coming to the end of Master. 153, Systema Solaris, and it's going to be Dwarfer. It is a keeper of 1770.
Yeah, Dwarf Butt, AGM for Systema Solaris at 1770. Great pick, great player, so it's going to be cool to see how he cooks with the team.
Pick number 154 then, DSQ Esports. Just waiting for that to come round. And it does come round. Also a handful of names they have to choose from, and that is Cadley at 2150.
Yeah, Cadley at 2150, a name I'm not too familiar with, but been drafted DSQ, so congratulations.
Cadley being called a GOAT there by some players in chat, but we are coming up to the final master pick of the night, and who's it going to go to? It's Panthera Esports. It's going to be Jania at 2140.
Yeah, that's their 37th pick in master, so that's last pick. They've got Jane in there, so there we go.
Yeah, 14th pick for Panthera. Good luck fishing out 3 good players in that draft. Master, though, there it is, 141 to 155. That is all the players chosen for the Master tier. And, well, Hecky, one more time for tonight in Master. Any standout names there?
Yeah, you got Riho, really solid player. Going to be interesting to see how that cooks. Thuba, great player. Again, it's he could have gone in the first few rounds definitely. And Tyre to DSQ, again a player that could have gone way earlier.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching the stream, that is the Master Draft done and dusted on day 2. And there's the Malcolm, everybody. He was going to make an appearance at some point. There he is. But this has been the Master Draft, and we will catch you in a few short moments for the Elite.
Peace.
Feelings change and love can go, but tell me why are you so cold? What did I wrong? What was the fault? Or what you say is I don't know. Feelings change and love can go, but tell me why are you so cold? What did I wrong? What was the fault? I thought that you loved me, I thought that you need me till you end up all this way. close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. On we'll go, finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest, echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Season 14 draft itself. It is a day two, a momentous moment. We do, of course, have Mal to the left here who is running everything around, and thumbs up, so it looks like there's no fire to be put out. But Doromus, continuing on from earlier on, of course, the Masters section, it was, shall we say, an interesting few picks, but all of the GMs will be contacting their players respectively. So for that tier, it seems to be many of them happy enough here.
Yes, indeed. And as we head straight into Elite, a couple of picks, we should see that happen rather shortly. Yep, pick number 81 then. We'll go to Mentsu, who was the first pick for Sanctuary today at 1670, alongside Greeny, Ishii, Form, and Sato.
Well, certainly so, and bumping, I'm presuming, straight on to the proceeding of matters here of the 82nd pick, which is Legend Media. Bitso Echo and Juicy Rollback Noodles. It was somewhat of a big surprise, his name not being moved into the matters of it. But Death Cloud Esports, the 83rd pick, of course, round number 5, so the start of day 2 for the elites here, will be an interesting one where it goes. That'll be interesting.
83rd pick by Death Cloud Esports then will be Azamil at 1745. He'll be alongside Sammy Boy, Rube, Joke and Fall. Pick number 84 coming up rather shortly, and that will be going to Panthera Esports. Danny?
Certainly so. Big Chibs, what has he got in a sky high itself here? Joining Spacey is Frank and, of course, Exil earlier into the picks as well. Briefly mentioned and actually made sort of a top 20 sort of guess, so 50% right. A few names mentioning slightly early, but Nit here for the Aztecs for the 85th pick, joined Appy, who potentially could have been Cal D, but RDM was surprising in that list there. 5th pick should have been me, potentially first according by many, but Legend Mania up again here.
Yes, and we are coming up to the 86th pick now for Elite Legend Mania. Who have they chosen here? They've chosen Evoke at 1675.
Former teammate of myself as well. Should be interesting to see what the Irishman has got to offer. Was Ox Gaming's captain. We did see Hecky earlier in the broadcast. We'll actually see him later too. But DSQ will be up following, of course, Zale, the fantastic player. There might have been taking a suggestion from himself there. So Illusionary following the likes of Pix, Dan, Sarge and Erie there with that strong lineup. So it's going to be interesting where the 4 is going to be.
Pick number 88 then going to DSQ Esports, and they've chosen Serene at 1725 CMV. He'll be alongside Miracle, Axios, Wessel and Alf. And slowly into pick number 89. Might of Hades coming up next, Danny.
Certainly so. It's Kevin's roster 3 at 5, and PSC being selected as well too. Very much an old name, and by the looks of the way Kevin's picks has been going, a lot of veteran status there. So experienced roster throughout the elite here for Mighty Hades. Senji, of course, I believe earlier in chat. The franchise owner looking to see some heavy weights, but Solaris, they're up for pick 90, and that's Dragon with a 695, slightly a bit unknown there, but with Dutz, Kaz and Fuse, Saf as well too, no one names within ERS and RNC respectively, so should be a strong lineup here to contest that 4th spot.
Yeah, pick number 91 going the way of Fulpers Esports, and they've gone for TK at 1710. He'll be alongside Kieran, Game, Vecca and Fish.
Yeah, Fish, I mean, strong player, mechanical player, Vecca, likewise, Gimme, so that's going to be interesting as well too. Brave following up next year with maybe the likely one, and I believe that's Aid who potentially from at least maybe wrong on that one, has been quite a few tryouts of late. It's a very strong player. Will be interested to see where the dynamic, where Brave eventually goes with this one, but Symbiote's coming up next year for the 93rd pick.
Yes, Symbiote's upcoming 93rd pick will go to Wine at 1720. Not a bad drink that, but Magic, Rapids, Spylaw and Not Liam are going to be alongside Wine for this 93rd pick. 94 coming around shortly.
Well, I'll be whining on about this one later on before Templar with Friday's franchise too. We'll be looking to pick a loan, and a loan itself has came around, but guess who else is alone? Me. 95th pick coming up. That's will be Shadow Esports.
Oh, come on, Danny. That's, don't beat yourself up. You'll find someone eventually. But Shadow Esports, number 95, and it will be Joris at 1765 alongside SNW, the Yellow Crab, Mithril, and Mamba. DSQ Esports will be the next pick at pick number 96.
Certainly so. DSQ, they've got the likes of Miracle, Weasel, and Albert Bonesy, a veteran player, very much in the league for a long time here, but has he still got it against the youngsters? That will be an interesting battle, but Dev Cloud, Team Serene, and that will be an interesting moment to see how things goes over there.
Death Cloud Esports pick number 97 will be CMAT 06 at 1670 alongside Asville and Sammy Boy, Rube, Joke, and Fall.
Certainly so, and just a brief look to see how things have been going elsewhere. Team Serene will be also fair to mention, not necessarily in the tier, but their AGM and friend will be joining potentially more, but Brian Booty in that one, Strafe, Nixo, Lynx and Kieran. But just to mention on a special occasion here, GC, it's his happy birthday, his 22nd to be more precise, and he's out celebrating, I believe, later on today, so everybody wish him a happy birthday. But 20R, will they be having candles or will it be a blowout?
Well, let's have a look here. 20R, pick number 99, and we have No One Knows Nova at 1745, alongside Langy, Serenity, Salvahart, and Cakes. Well, we know Nova now, Danny.
Do we?
And you're also not alone, by the looks of it.
Well, we'll continue on that theme. Green Phoenix will be certainly chugging along here, and that will be Charlie as well. Not necessarily an unknown quantity, but certainly will be looking to provide a few doubts on Green Phoenix's ability and picks here. That will be an interesting, well, 4-1s here, but this is, however, the 20 players that have been first draft of day number 2 here. And the likes of Rollback Noodles, who is one of the strongest players in terms of status, certainly being picked up here. Evoke, likewise, a legendary player, champion previously before too. Do you know what? I'm surprised it's taken this long for them to come out here.
Indeed, so there are your 81st to 100 player names, and we will be moving swiftly on to pick number 101, and that is going the way of Aztec Esports. Obviously Charlie there, pick number 100 in the previous, but Aztec Esports have gone for Bar Cake Flair at 1675.
Well, certainly will be in addition to the roster, but 20R there be looking to pick up a few players as well too. It will be interesting to see how things have been going, because the selection and quality of players has been scattered throughout. Most of the GMs slightly complain about who's picking and how they're picking, but 20R has gone with Carson at 1670 there, so another mid-range player in the grand scheme of things, so there's going to be a battle for the mid-third spot. So it will be pretty much, but Scene is up next here with Meaty Piggins, or Pegasus themselves. What have you got next, gentlemen?
Team Serene, so big as this, what have you chosen? You've chosen Extra Mayo at 1720, alongside Strafe, Nixo, Lynx, and Kieran. So 1720 there, another player 1 contender probably.
I'm just sort of thinking of Boy Arroyo at the moment, who does a consistent Mayo and a dress in a Mayo suit at the moment. But that's a different conversation. 104 in terms of the pick depth cloud. They've gone with Zinni, of course, at 1730, a strong player in terms of the numbers. So it will be interesting to see. They've actually picked 4 in terms of the high 1700 range. So have they decided to go for a few trades potentially here and maybe upset a few? But DSQ, they've got their plan in order with the picks here? That will be an interesting one. I believe Nations is the GM there, and Flor and Char respective. And it looks like they're going with, well, Janizo at 1675, so a much more balanced approach coming here.
Yeah, definitely you see the balance there. You've got a couple in the 1720s, 1670s, sorry, and you know they'll be battling each other out for them slots. Panthera Esports, though, will choose Okatan at 1720. Again, several high players there in the 1700s for this elite draft. Danny, what have you got to say about that one?
Well, actually, very little off, a bit unknown in terms of myself here on that particular player, like in terms of where I do normally play. But Jaku, I believe, or Jaku, why have you gone for dyslexic with a natural strong spelling here, with a few giggles around here for the natural struggle? But for Templar, they've decided to go for it. But Symbiote will be up next here, so unknown by name and unknown in terms of who he is. So I'll be upfront about that one.
So that was Jetok, and this is Rico at 1710.
That's the first time a Welshman has a smile in terms of I can actually say that one based on day 1 stream. But his grouping has got a lot better after being pointed out here. I believe that's a 140 behind him. I thought I'd mention that after criticising the darts. But how Brave Esports hit the bullseye on this one. Hex was sitting at 1670 here. Once more, he had slightly more second man potential in terms of where they want here. But again, Shadow up next here for the 110th pick following next.
Yeah, Shadow Esports, 110. What have they got for us? What have they got in store? It is going to be None other than Batman. Who would have expected Batman to be on this list at 1675 alongside Joyce Ness? Oh well, Joyce for today's pick. Batman, ruler of the night, the Dark Knight. What have you got to say to that one, Danny?
No.
Inhales water. Anyway, we move on to Systema Solaris, and this is a keeper, Bale 34 at 1670, Danny.
Certainly so. Not necessarily surprised there by the keeper pick on that one, but while we get on with things mighty Hades, we'll be looking with Kevin over here. Well, we're certainly looking for a Robin, but we have a few jokers earlier onto this one. But will it be the March of the Penguins? Nope, it's a Galaxy on this one here. We did have a few dad jokes. I thought I'd join in on this one.
One far away from all these dad jokes, I assume. But Galaxy slots into my Hades' 6th pick. Up next, DSQ for pick 113. And that is going to be Sparks 2026 at 1690.
No, certainly so. Again, we are reaching to the players, not to be necessarily rude, but the unknowing quantities is coming up here. But while we are looking at far away here, we'll go to the Claw with Illusionary at the helm here. Will it be a spaceship here? Well, they'll go with Turkey at this one at 1730. Alpha, however, looks like they're going for their obvious one with a late pick here.
So, pick 115 coming your way. Alpha Surge, they've gone for a, well, Conflict Keeper, of course, 1670. Yes, as you say, Danny, quite obvious.
Well, certainly so. Green Phoenix following a suit here, and it might be a similar story here. Keeper. Will it be a stealer for later? We'll certainly not here. Patroid, of course, the assistant EGM can't move into this regards here, 1670. So is he likely to play or on the bench here? But we'll be moving quite swiftly to the 107th pick here.
Yeah, that's back-to-back keepers, but Velpers Esports ends that keeper streak, and we got Ethan L5286 at 1740, quite high CMV, and we'll be competing against TK Game and Fish for that spot, I feel.
Certainly so, and we'll be moving to Dev Cloud for round 6 of this 118 with Aki at 1685 there, joining the likes of Rube, Jokin and Fall, Sammy Boy 2, just to mention the likely qualities, the rest on to the left here. But Legend Media, well, we had 2 keepers earlier, the likelihood of third one following suit, if rumour has it, it is with Wilkie 2 at 1670. I believe actually one of the few keepers in the league likely to be playing, but for the last and potential final one for round 6 here, where do we go? Well, that's Sanctuary, of course.
Sanctuary, last pick of this section, and it will be Marshmallow Derp at 1670. It's 3 1670s they've chosen back to back. Marshmallow.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But what is slightly fair here, I think there's somewhat, again, surprise pick is that there's been that deep conflict, not necessarily surprise being the keeper pick, but everybody might be looking at like the Batman, who has been a long-term player in the league here. That's the biggest surprise here, person myself here in Elite. The rest of the ones, maybe like a Carson, bit of a quiet one in the grand scheme of things, but no major shocks here. But round 5, round 6, I believe we also have round 7 to Romas as well too, and I believe it will be Alpha Surge kicking off with nearly a double header here, as we just confirm once again Marshall Derp being the 120th pick from the previous rounds.
Alpha Surge 7th pick will be none other than Bob at 1675 alongside Conflict, Krino, Cohen and Doat. So that is another low, well, 1670 player to compete against Conflict and Krina there. So yeah, that's Alpha Surge. Legend Mania up next, pick 122, and they have gone for Ren at 1760.
Well, we're going back to, of course, Alpha Surge. It says a sandwich pick here. Now they've got the options here, and if rumour has it, we will be seeing a name that Team Serene player, I believe, formerly at one point with Jibs at 1690, jump, I believe, from Challenger up to 2 tiers here. Will be interesting how he will adapt to it. Spicy with a strong lineup with the likes of Dope, Conflict and Bob Coben. They'll be fighting for the 4th spot there, certainly so, but we'll be moving to Vips and Green Phoenix DSQ for the respective next 3.
Yeah, Velpers Esports have chosen Levy RL at 1750, another contender for that top spot. You've got a 1720, a 1740 and a 1755, so a lot of competition there for Velpers Esports when they come to choose their final team.
Certainly so, and this one will be the 120th pick here. Stingray and Padroid, they've seen their keeper being used at this round here, and it will be about 1745 once again. I believe that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heavy picks here at 1700 here. Not necessarily sure of the caps myself here, but the numbers here, are they adding up here? So potential trades here, but a DSQ sandwich at the 126 a suit here with Lufister. We're not talking about the devil himself, but we'll certainly know a few, but that's a 1750 here.
Yeah, 17-15, and that is DSQ's 9th pick, so they've got plenty to filter through for this time round. 127 coming up next. It's none other than Illusory, and Illusory have gone for Ethan at 1755, and that is their highest pick so far, Danny.
Certainly so, but will it be used? So the likes of Pixel, Dan, Evie, Sarge and Ansel would be, I presume, the likely potential for maybe to be interested to see where it goes, but we're back with DSQ. They've gone with KN here with 9 picks, so certainly that's going to be a roster to be offering a lot of trades, maybe trying to get maybe a pick or two here, but that's a lot of players who's going to maybe be disappointed. They'll be sitting on the free agent market later on, of course, but 129, Mighty Hades, Kevin. He's, of course, an ex-teammate with iCal. I'm not talking about myself, and we'll be certainly phoning up here at, of course, Solaris for the 130th.
Yeah, 1675 there for Cal. Again, a bit more competition, but at this point you expect that. But Solaris at 130, Serene DV at 1715. We're competing against the likes of Kazi and Saf for probably player number 2 in that team. Pick number 131 coming your way, and that will be Panthera Esports.
Thank you very much here, because Big Chems, he's known for his picks alongside that, but I believe Render there for that following suit there. Of course, Easy, of course, but Brave there following up with the 131st here. And Geo, what is coming next will be certainly interesting here, but a lot of the unknowns for the Elite coming up here.
Yeah, pick number 132, Brave Esports, and that is 7 Glaxmandia at 1730. I'm glad, Danny, if you could read that one out, you know, you're doing better than me, but that's a 1730, a 1740, and a 1720 there for Brave Esports. A lot of competition.
Well, I just want to say special thanks to Evie there. He doesn't know how to say the name himself, but we've had the pleasure of doing that. But Stainless, we certainly do at 1690, so we'll be getting certainly a few lessons of elocutions or maybe pronunciations by the players throughout the season as well. But for Templar needs no introduction themselves, but we'll have one anyway for them. D. Lynch and Co., what have you got here?
I'll be Green Spongy at 1670. So, compete against Alone probably for that spot. Pick 135 coming your way, and that'll be going to Panthera Esports. Who's it going to be?
Certainly so. We have seen a few picks in Panthera with a likely double, and it is Connor at 1765 here, another high-end player, but will it be the one they eventually go to use here? I'm a little bit skeptical. Either Frank potentially getting traded, Excelio Soko's a strong, experienced player. Connor, what have you got yourselves with DSQ? They've basically got a bookshelf here, but Defunct comes into it. I believe that's what the 10th player DSQ have got. Joe, I've got a question here, maybe the admin's ability to count here, but that's one too many for my liking. But DSQ, congratulations for near getting a baker's dozen here the way this is going tonight, but Deathcloud, they're up next here.
Yeah, DSQ, that's their 11th pick, but Deathcloud, pick number 737, and that is Red Dot, or Redot, at 1735, and that is also their 8th or 9th pick here.
Certainly so. Team Serene, the birthday boy celebrations at the background, but lightly salted sugar. Thanks for that name for us to get to say that on air, but that one was interesting enough here, but I hope that the boys will be having some, maybe a Victoria Sponge, you know, something tasty other than lightly sugared.
Lightly salted sugar, but pick 139, 20R will be going the way of Shiny at 1765. Another high pick this late on.
Oh, well, Aztec with the back-to-back here, but we'll be having, unfortunately, technically a break here, but they will have the 140 and final pick there as well, but we'll have that in suspense with RBZ, respectively. So here, so we'll go to the summary, which will be the 20 players, and the final pick will, of course, be Aztec, which will go to another summary. So very much here. Ethan, probably the player here defunct, a little bit unknown. Shin there. None of the big names there, obviously. It's the likes of your ones coming through the RSC system, the likes of Jebs being the major pick there at 123rd. A lot of the unknowns here, so that will be the interesting ones.
Yes, so that is 121 to 140, and we've got one more player left to go, and we're probably going to do a summary on that one player, so they're going to have a lot of attention, but it will be an Azteca Esports pick again, and the last name on our list will be Spods at 1765.
I could be wrong, I believe it's Spoons potentially, but I'll probably be wrong on that one. But we'll go back to the summary! Go on. Woo!
And it is going to be the one player of this 20-player list here, Spods 1765. Absolutely fantastic list. Take a look at that yourself, chat. You see a bunch of gleaming players there, ready to go.
Right. Now, I'm not known for sympathy in terms of the commentary booth. But, Mal, please keep this on for a second here. Now, I'm not a big fan of certain players or that there, may be a bit critical. How has 20 GMs allowed Spoods to become the last pick in Elite? I would like to know the question on that one. Really, the last player in Elite?
Bit of controversy this early on in the season, and we haven't even got the season started yet, Danny.
Joe, if I was still in the lead, I would understand. But, come on. The world has gone completely wrong. I'm being corrected on pronunciation. I do apologise. But do you know what? I'm somewhat, the world has gone mad. The world has gone mad. This draft system has been completely bonkers so far. I love it for the madness of it, but the fact that the man is the last and final pick, do you know what? There'll be a few questions in the background, but that is the case there. But as we did say, happy birthday to George from Team Serene. This is from the draft, and we see Mal has got quite literally his MS Paint skills, I believe, at the backgrounds there. But that has been the Elite tier knocked out of the park here. There is 3 still to go here. Rival, Challenger, and Prospect. But from all of us here, we're going to take a quick break and get that one set up for you to see who has gone where.
Start again, so stay with me. Together we'll fall apart. I've been trying to fight the demons in my mind. I'll prevail with every battle if I'm right. Guess my aim was off, the target's out of sight. Would I be better if I left it all behind? 'Cause we could find a way, we could find a way. Find another place where we can just escape. We could find a way, we could find a way. Find another place where we can just escape. We could find a way. got me thinking now, should I take it or leave it out? It got me thinking now, and now I'm stuck in this loop again. It got me thinking now, should I take it or leave it out? What would happen if I talk to you? Got a feeling that I get a clue. Would you be my Fortnite? Would you be my Fortnite? Would you be my Fortnite? It got me thinking now, should I take it or leave it out? It got me thinking now, and now I'm stuck in this loop again. It got me thinking now, should I take it or leave it out? What would happen if I talk to you? Got a feeling that I get a blue. Would you be my Fortnite?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to, of course, your RSC Season 14. And I believe Mal has decided to spoil a little bit of a big reveal here for the rival team itself. Before we go and continue further, a proper introduction has to be given to a big man himself, a personality within RSC, who, funny enough, who had the misfortune of dealing with me for a season. I must say, Hecky, it's a pleasure to have you on. First of all, how are you doing?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, Donny. We've been friends now for a little while. We've never been on the stream together, so it's gonna be cool.
Certainly so, and of course, if we have not swapped the message, it is George's birthday words from Team Serene. He is, let's just say, may not be available to be contacted later on, but we may as well knock on with rival here. The first pick from Sanctuary to be properly revealed is, of course, Akko, who is a fantastic player. I hope she is doing well here, but we'll be moving swiftly now to Brave Esports here.
Yeah, Brave Esports, pick 82. Let's see who they've got. And it's Limis, a very solid player for 1600. He definitely could be a lot higher than that, don't he?
Certainly so, and DSK will be following up next here. And Hecky, I must ask you, you've had the misfortune of being in the big 20 GM conversation here as Norrells gets moves up for DSQ City third pick. How is it like being at the background there? Is it a stress, a tense? Is it the worst part being a GM, or what's it like?
It's the most stressful, but it's definitely the most fun part of the season. You know, if your player gets picked, you have to scramble to find the next guy, and it's so much fun. All the GMs are there having a good time as well, so it's really good.
Well, Symbiotes will be moving quite nicely with Blizz Dragon as well too. Of course, Hecky, who has been a GM before, knows all behind the scenes, the dirty dealing, shall we say, who's doing the trades, who's maybe getting the premiums to an extent here. But Alpha Surge following next with the 85th pick.
Yeah, Alpha Surge, pick 85. Bring on Tank, a very solid player, especially for 1580. He's a very solid player, very solid pick for Alpha Surge.
It would be interesting, Hecky, in a few moments' time here to ask you who potentially could have been your team for rival if you were picking through these ones. But Flair has gone with GamerCube for 1600. So who would have been maybe the star player in the rival section who you would have thought that's the man for me to build a team around?
It's hard to judge. I wasn't really watching many of the rival players. as my tier is Challenger, so I didn't pay too much attention to the other tiers, I'm afraid.
Well, that's fair enough here, but Aspect has gone to Mighty Hades for the 87 pick. Somewhat surprised here that the man himself hasn't decided to say Tuck, who is, of course, his long-term friend, who is in the rival tier as well, past teaming it myself here, who, I must say, somewhat surprised he's dropped down to an extent here, but probably a little bit more happier that he isn't stressed out in the elites at the moment.
Yeah, I know he was happy to move down to rival, but Diary is very happy to be on illusory, I would presume. Pick 88 at 1655.
And the birthday boys over at Serene, what have they got following next year? They've got, well, Vincent, what they've been having so far today, and Joe, well, I'm a little bit envious, but as big at 89 here, we'll be following with Meaty himself, Sam Lawrence 6, and George himself too, the birthday boy, who will be certainly interesting enough. But Solaris following next with the likes of Yannick's of their GM.
Yeah, I know Yannick's been really excited for draft. He's always in draft hype channel, and he's hyped it up with Elias V at 1585.
Well, that's a strong potential pick there, but we'll be moving quite happily to, of course, Symbiotes here for the 91st one for Rival itself here. There's still a fair chunk of players who is looking to move on, but it's not a Chow, but it's a Cloud at this one's 1850 at 91st of Rival. Like some Ryan Strong pick half, who's been touted around as one of the strong ones to pick up here, so it is in that midpoint.
Yeah, they've definitely got a good team going there, and it looks like Death Card do with Palm at 1615. Mid-tier, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that one.
Certainly so, and following that one, now to Media, Cynics, Jaffa, and of course Wilkie. They'll be looking to bolster their roster a bit further. And Mezzo, he's been a long-term player, he's back again. Somewhat surprised he's went down, but would have been a long-term Masters player back in the day, if I remember, got this the same one. But we move over, and I believe we've got a keeper, if the accurate report is coming in here.
Yeah, we have Vulpes, Maisie, the co-caster that we had on before yesterday, maybe joining us later today as well. Keeper pick 94 for Vulpes Esports.
Certainly so. 20R. Will it be a storm coming, or will we be snowed under? Well, there'll be certainly one be provided here, which will be Blizzy himself here. Another keeper pick, of course, will be a part of the management of 20R. So, Deathcloud, what have you got in store?
Yeah, let's see what Death Cloud bring at pick number 96. Let's see if they're cooking up with this one. And they brought on Pepper at 1655, top range of the tier. Let's see if they can build anything around Pepper.
Well, I did have lightly salted sugar earlier. We do know there is salt being put on Mel's chips at the moment, been spicily delivered. But Kane, who couldn't deliver maybe a penalty kick, well, Fort Templar has maybe bringing it home here, but under the Fort Templars Friday banner.
Yeah, Kane let down England. Maybe he can show himself for Fort Templar there.
Shadow, big man himself here, will give the honours to the man who knows him best here, Hacky, who it might be.
Yeah, Tuck, I unbiasedly would say, is the best player in Rival. The fact he's gone this late is abysmal. He could have gone in the first round, first pick. I don't know how he didn't.
One of the most technical gifted players that goes unnoticed at times, and needs a little bit of confidence, to be fair to him, but he did strike gold in Elite earlier. But we're in Aztec, they'll be looking to have the gold banner with a trophy later on with that pick, but a forged pick to round things off here. Will it be a few Ritio, or will it be going gaga here?
Yeah, great pick for Arno there. Meki Microwave going to Forge at pick 100. A very solid player. I believe he spent some time in Challenger, played against him a few times, and he's always been a menace to play against.
Well, we'll be certainly not seeing Dennis the Menace here, but we might have Nutley here with a few laughs here. But Echo has certainly been arguably the best player to maybe be drafted out here, but I think both of us will sit here and say the fact that Tuck, the 98th pick here, is probably criminal, the fact that he's gone that long.
Yeah, like I said, he's probably the best player in rival. He's worth every bit of CMV and more. He peaked 1700 a few seasons ago, so it's robbery that Shadow got in this late, but happy for them.
Well, daylight robbery, but we'll be going straight over to Forge once again for the 101st pick here. So technically back to back here. So we did see the micro hitting the wave. Will we be saying goodbye or hello to a new member for this one? And so 1590, so not necessarily a high player, but could be providing value. Azteca following suit.
Yeah, Wolfie's definitely been chefing up his rival team here with Teo, Jambi, Hazza, and Meki Microwave from the last pick.
Well, we do see Tomo following suit. There's quite a few Toms in this league as well. Toms are, of course, earlier first pick around about Masters following suit. But Hecky, I was just ask you this one here. Going this long here, does the GM still stick to their game plan, or is it literally just scrambling at this point down the sheet here?
There's still some game plan, but there's definitely some random picks and whatnot going on this late in draft. Funny names will normally get you drafted this late into draft.
Well, Relief there for 103rd from Sanctuary. They have just selected there. Echo just recently picked there, so potentially, so my eyes a little bit unknown, but to be fair, I don't usually focus anything below Elite itself there, but for Template they're coming up next, and I think we might have an idea who this is.
Yeah, Fort Templar pick 104. They've kept Mal. What a mistake to make, Danny. What are we saying on that?
Can we go for a live camera action to the Malcom by any chance here? We might get a no here on this one, but I do want to check. Could we have Malcom? Want to see the celebration of the complete shock here. The Fort Templar picking, of course, Mal himself. The fact that we're delayed this long here, I don't think we are heading to it. There might be a Frygate incident here, as there might be a few more tickets. And we're going to have a live interview. Mal, how does it feel to be picked by your own franchise? Man with very little words.
Man, a few words, yeah.
So we'll be maybe quite next on to this one. For Templar, no surprise on that one. Death Cloud, what have you got in store for us?
Oh, Death Cloud bringing in Snacky at 1615. Again, quite middle tier, but it looks like they've basing their team off middle tier players with Sam and Max Power, as well as Skips. So maybe they're going for a balanced roster here, Danny.
Well, certainly so, and I'm just having a brief look here when I do see that 20R up next here. They've gone for a lot of high-end move across here. They're going with their keeper pick at 1580, so maybe one high, two middle, and a very cheap CMV player here would be the suggestion there, Hacky.
Yeah, definitely what you look for as a default. You get like that one high, two mid, and then one low player.
Well, how low can you go? And Bob DK, well, there's no barrels being thrown, but will there be a Princess save for Legend Mania at the 180th pick?
Yeah, Legend Mania, pick 108. Let's see who they brought on. And they brought on J1XA, a good friend of mine, a good friend of Danny's, and it's good to see him get picked again. Criminal that he didn't go in earlier rounds, but I'm sure he's happy that he's been drafted to Legend Mania.
Certainly so, I believe, briefly on holiday as well, but Monkey See, Monkey Do, and there's been quite a few of them already on the draft, but another one has popped out at 1590 by Death Cloud, but we'll be going to Green Phoenix, and likewise here, we do know that there is quite a lot of keepers here within the franchises so far, so it wouldn't be surprised here we see another one, and certainly do at 1590, so we'll be going over to Solaris, following for the 111th pick.
Yeah, let's see what Yannick's been chefing up here with the pick 111. And he's gone with J-Rise at, again, quite a high mid-tier. So Maybe he's hoping to keep him with Sasuke and working some of the other guys there.
Certainly so. 112 pick team. Serene, what have you gone with here? And they've gone with Vida, very capable player, very much a dominant force to play against here, so could be. I'm actually, to be fair here, I've been saying Elite was a bit of a disgrace in terms of where some players were picked up. That one's far too late in my opinion, but Illusionary, have you kept a few picks too late here?
Yeah, let's see what Illusory grab. Nicolaj at 1650. A very solid player. A very solid draft pick for Illusory there.
Certainly so. Maya Hades with Kevin. Of course, Terry doesn't get enough mention here. And I believe they've gone with a reasonable pick here. Smarax at 1660. So we'll go straight over to Panthera, who will be looking at Big Chibs once more.
Yeah, Big Chebs is always chefing up, and he's doing really good for Rival this season. And he's picked Gunski, an ex-teammate of mine in the RS. He was very, very good, and it's amazing to see him in RSC.
Certainly so. And we'll be moving to Green Phoenix. Will be nice to see maybe an old name resonate on our broadcast screens here, and it is Stingray, the head of productions over here, 1590. Very much a capable player, positioning wise very strong, mechanically not outstanding, but one of those ones where you look at will always be a decent sort of case here to provide an upset. But Symbiote's up next.
Yeah, Symbiote with XTPR. Maybe his phone password or something, but that's again a solid mid-tier pick for Symbiotes.
Well, how could you leak his password like that?
Sorry, XTPR, I didn't mean to.
Well, we suggest you update your password, but DSQ, they haven't slammed their keyboard. But another password that certainly needs updated, Toby13466. You may have forgotten the 2 and the 5 there, but the roll of the dice would suggest Oops would be down the snake and ladders at this point, but Brave up next here.
Yeah, Brave, the Scottish powerhouse. Let's see what they brought on for pick 119. And they bring in not Phoenix. I just saw him in chat saying he doesn't think he's getting picked. Well, not Phoenix. You have been picked by Brave Esports.
Well, anybody who signs up will definitely get picked here, but the Brave sandwich, of course, the officer's double here. Will it be a slice of fresh moments here? And Fantorine is there at 1635, so we'll be going straight to our summary here, Rival. So those are 20 players who've been put out already, and Hecky, we have got a few of them, and Green Phoenix with a double keeper pick. Was that a bit of a waste here, or had to do sort of type moments?
It's situational. Maybe they thought this was the best option for them. Stingray is very capable as a GM, so I'm sure he made the best decision for the franchise.
Well, played under demand under ERS. RSC's last season, not necessarily superb, but did reach the play-in stage. But the likes of Toby and Xavier, the password might be needed, but we do know, of course, the likes of MJ, who has been picked up. But we do have approximately about 12 players left in Rival, so we might as well get round 7 underway to keep them no longer in suspense here. So we do see our last pick, but Alpha Surge will go to TB here at 1630. Brave once again following suit.
Yeah, great pick from Alpha Surge. Let's see how Brave can respond to it. It looks like they pick up Tsunami. I saw him in chat the other day. He's a musician, so that's going to be cool to see what he can produce for Brave Esports.
Well, Hacky and Tux sort of skipped and stolen our hearts here, but the beat and the rhythm will be DSQ, and it will be CJ coming through at 1655 here. But from the decks to the beats, Symbiotes will be doing their sculling at this point. What have they got?
Yeah, Symbiotes been cooking up in this tier, and they keep it going with Jack Doe, an amazing player at that CMV. That's an absolute steal for them.
Certainly so. Panthera 125. They've gone with Kura at 1630. The likes of Hansa, Resistant Jaguar, of course, RLCS coached on the likes of Mina. So it will be a strong roster here. They eventually get the Panthera's double. Who have they gone with? And by the looks of it, They may have ended up picking something from the calendar at this point here. It's, of course, Jam B, but there's an XD, so he's quite happy all the time. But sincerely hope so, but Taylor's following it.
Yeah. XD Jam B with a class act there. And Fearless pick 127. They want to pick up Anima, a very, very OG member of RSC. It's amazing that he's still going. 1600 TMV. It's a great pick.
Well, certainly from there, but we'll be going to Illusionary here. And I believe they might be having an explosive pick at this one. It's Nitro here, but there's no Bandit in this one. But will there be a few wallop or whoops at this point here? It'll be Team Serene falling for the 129th pick.
Yeah, Team Serene will pick 129. They're going to pick Jaden Raki. That's a solid player again, 1610. He's been playing really well in combines and tryouts, so Serene must be impressed.
Certainly so. Solaris up next in the final doubleheader by, of course, Deathcloud Esports here. They have, of course, picked, of course, James ZRL, but this one here is not a license plate, but it is a 1665. But Deathcloud, what have you got for your last and two final picks? It's not like you've got much choice, to be honest with you here.
Yeah. They have decided that they're going to pick Leighton. A bit late in the night for this pick, Danny Boy.
Well, Zaki will be happy with that one, but he certainly
No,
liked
he's not.
with the right spot on this one here. But the final pick for rival Zaki at 1655, so the 12-man summary essentially. So we'll be heading straight over towards that because there's very little to say here. At this stage here, it's not necessarily of who you are, but I think, of course, CJ at 123rd picking TB. The biggest surprise is there waiting that long here by the rival standards.
Yeah, Sharky as well. He made playoffs, I believe, last season or the season before. So he could have gone quite early. Anima as well, being the OG that he is.
Yeah, certainly so, but that is rival all wrapped up and done and dusted. The 7 rounds completed here, as Mal seems to be chuckling quite happily because he was a keeper pick in this tier here. But I do believe that there might be. I just want to correct something here just as well to Resistance Edwards SSA, not Mina. Who knew that there's too many regions to sort out here? But Mal, I do believe there may have been a message that we may have been seeing a particular Team Serene one, if that was possible to whip on our screens quite briefly here. And there it is. It's a happy birthday to George himself from Team Serene, of course. It's always nice to see you happening here at this point here. But with that being the case, that is rival done. 2 more to go. Challenging and prospect. But we'll see you after this short break.
I've been waiting for too long. Girl, I've been craving, 'cause it's with you where I belong. I don't know what to do, so I'm leaving the city, 'cause I can't avoid all my demons. I wish that it was true, that you need me to hold you, but I can't control how you're feeling. I'm craving for a sign. I don't know why, but can't control how you're feeling.
Day breaks and I'm burned by the morning light. I make the same mistake more than twice. Same song, but brand new dance. I wear out my third second chance. You take my breath and I can't get it back. Might be time for me to face the facts. The best me is with you, but I know I got a lot to prove. They think we're too damaged to fix, but we're just working through a little rust. They like to say we're just young, but I know we won't give this up. Sometimes I lose my mind, and some days it's hard to find the reason why you stay by my side. You and I break our hearts open enough just to see if we'll put them back. No matter what they try, I'll stay by your side. It's you and I. It's you and I. We go back and forth every time, waiting for one of us to cross the line. You got me and I got you, and we got a lot to prove. They think we're too damaged to fix, but we're just working through a little rust. They like to say we're just young, but I know we won't give this up. Sometimes I lose my mind, and some days it's hard to find the reason why you stay by my side. You and I break our hearts open enough just to see if we'll put them back. No matter what they try, I'll stay by your side. It's you and I. It's you and I. It's you and I.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stream. It is myself, Sir Pegasus, alongside Heckin. You can see Mal there on screen as well. You've got yourself two sober casters here on the desk for the Challenger picks. Hecky, how are you doing, my friend?
I am absolutely sober, Pegasus. How about you?
So sober, so sober.
Good. I'm glad that we've got that covered.
I'm excited for the picks there. Of course, this is my tier. This is Challenger. I did Prospect yesterday, a place where I haven't had any experience, although I have done ERS Academy. And being honest, I'm quite excited to present the picks here on stream. Of course, I've got a bit of background information, being an AGM, but Hecky, my former GM, actually. I'm not sure if you know the picks that are coming today.
Well, I've got access to the sheet, so I can see who's coming. But I'm happy to keep it a surprise, you know.
Well, starting things off here, we do have Systema Solaris picking up Hard Flame. He did actually sub for me in the last ERS season for the Cup. The performance he probably doesn't want me to share, but either way, good player for 1545, a very high pick. Definitely going to be competing with the likes of Sensor and Nish for a spot on the team. But overall, very good picks here for Systema Solaris starting off.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's see what Sanctuary got cooked up at pick 82. They're going to grab Parallel at 1445. Quite a cheap pick, so maybe the fourth man.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, when you go for these kind of sub picks, you are guaranteed to have to play them for, I believe it's 16 games this season, and you want to get as many wins as possible in those 16, so hopefully that is a good pick for them. Here for Panthera, it's of course going to be Nova Boya, Dizzy, Tokyo, whatever he wants to call himself in any server. He will join this team at 1515. This is a player that was looking to be, I believe, Academy at the beginning of ERS, but then managed to get himself up a few levels to Prospect, and now he's sitting here in Challenger in RSC, so it'll be interesting to see how that one unfolds.
Yeah, it's great to see players improve, such as Tygo. He's improved so much over his time in the RSC, so it's great to see that Death Cloud have seen that and decided to pick him up in Challenger.
Yeah, that's a good pick there for Death Cloud. 1480, I think that's an absolute steal. I think that's a player that has gone a little bit under the radar, and I'm honestly surprised he's lasted this long in the draft. But here, it is Hollow for Green Phoenix, a pick here from Stingray, Patroid, and Shattered Fusion. It's another fifth pick for this team. They've got the early one for today, and it's a 1500, a place which I find to be really competitive, actually, when it comes to the Challenger tier.
Yeah, absolutely. You're kind of mid of the field. Too high, too low, so you have to find out the balance. And the balance is at your local pizza shop at 1450, pick 86 for Illusory.
Yeah, and it's another 1450. That's going to be someone competing with Yak, who was the most recent pick round 4 for one of those lower draft picks, albeit I do see a 1565 and a 1520. Crim's an excellent player. Hunter's an excellent player. If they want to keep both of them, those low picks are going to be certainly important. But going on to Legend Mania is Shiryu, joining a team of Beeping Sheep, Mytix, King Jammy, and Dammy. Oh, two names that rhyme. That's a nice round 3 and round 4 pick. But a 1440 here. It's going to be looking to compete with Dammy perhaps for their spot on the team. But again, some very high picks coming from round 1, round 2. They might both be required to fit in caps.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as Tekka here, we're going to see Eugen teaming here with Ghosty Venny, Shin, and Kendo. That is a solid looking roster, Pegasus.
Yeah, I hope he's as skillful as that up-and-coming Frenchman at the moment. There is a player of the very same name. Azteca, historically always a very good franchise. You've got to trust every single one of their picks. And if we're looking at the first 4 that they've gone for, I fully back them that this 1550 could be a promising addition to their roster. But now moving on to 20R, it's of course a keeper pick. It is, I want to say, the GM of 20R. Yes, I am correct, joining the roster. Here we go, pick 89. And he's managed to pick himself 4 good teammates as well. It's going to be hard to pick.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's going to have to fight for a spot because he's picked really good teams. And we'll have to see what comes of it. But Team Serene here.
Here we see. Oh,
absolutely terrible pick for Team Serene. They've gone with the worst player in Challenger. You know, I had to cut him. Team Serene are probably going to have to cut him. So Sorry, I didn't mean to open your wounds.
Oh. Yeah, a player which was kicked by this very man in my first season. Oh my, but yeah, of course, a round 5 pick, a little bit too high for a player of that value, come on. But here, Might of Hades, a much better player than the last one mentioned. It's, of course, Slayer Dabs, and that is a really strong roster Might of Hades are building so far. Abdul, Potter, Awoof, and Red, all on one team. They're going to have a very tough pre-season, this management, picking which players to drop to get it down to 4, because already these 5, I can't pick a weak player.
Yeah, no, they've gone really, really well, like Hades for Challenger. And this again, Phoenix FPV, the keeper pick for Alpha Surge, alongside Din, Leroni, and Buddha. That is a very solid 4, and they're only going to get stronger as the draft picks go on.
It's been very high picks actually so far, 1475 being the lowest, and then we've got a 1540, a 1555, and a 1515. They're really going all in on these top picks. They've left these lower ones to go quite a bit later, and they do have some time until their next pick, so I'm very interested to see how that one will unfold. But it was Nation's time to pick a player, got a conversation with him earlier, and actually, he managed to have this round off. It's another keeper. It's, of course, a Flossie, an excellent player to have in your management, equally as excellent of a player to have on your team.
Yeah, no, nothing bad to say about Flossie. He's great at what he does as a player and as a manager, so excited to see how that goes.
And here we go. It is T2Win, or Twin. I have no idea how to pronounce that one, but it is going to be a Volpes Esports. I believe that is a minimum pick here, something which they haven't actually had so far. So I can imagine this one was calculated by the likes of Avelios, Maisie, and Maui. Not a player I'm familiar with, but maybe one that has gone under the radar and Volps have been able to snag up.
Yeah, definitely the minimum pick, and he's going to be playing really well as their 4th man, I assume.
Oh, Eddie Bear.
Eddie Bear, nice. Pick 95 for Shadow.
Yeah.
1530, solid player for the solid CMV that he is. He's worth every penny.
Yeah, this is a player that's just gotten better and better and better and better as the seasons have gone along, and it's a good pickup there by Shadow Esports. But now for Symbiotes, it is Noodle for 1530. Not a player that I am very familiar with, but I am familiar with actually all of their teammates they've got alongside them. There's some really good competition there. Of course, Pete, my former teammate, alongside the man in the desk alongside me. But you did pick Pete over me, and Noodle is on this team with him as well. It's looking to be a good roster again from Symbiotes.
Yeah, and again, Fort Templar with Tomo Lad, that's a very solid pick. 1570 alongside Voodoo, Panic, Enzane, and Morksy. That is looking to be one of the stronger rosters in Challenger by the looks of it.
Yeah, certainly. And Tomo is going to be competing against, I think it's going to be Moa or Moya there for 1575. I don't think he expected to be this low of a pick, because that is an excellent player. But Brave Esports going for, I want to say Hamish or Hamish, popped up in a lot of my tryouts as well. This is an excellent player for 1480. Again, it's towards that kind of middle tier of Challenger where it gets really competitive and you want to squeeze out as much value as possible. And I think this is a pick that does exactly that. Really well done here from NC Substan and Faye Kyle.
Yeah, and Deathcloud with already a lot of picks by the looks of it. They're going to keep Kieran, and that's pick 99 for Deathcloud Esports.
Yeah, that's a former teammate of mine in Academy ERS a few seasons back. Another player who's just gotten better and better and gone into management as well and done a good job at that as well. Zax 1490, a player that I believe I've actually teamed with in a pre-season before. He's always been around. I think everyone in Challenger knows Zax by now, usually in that middle tier range and usually a strong pick as well. But Forg had 2 rounds here, so I'm interested who they would get in their second. But before that, we get a little first 20 look back, and overall, I think excellent picks all round. I think by round 5, people still knew who they were going for here.
Yeah, I think Tiger is the biggest shock for me. He's gone in round 5, and realistically, he's around 2, maybe even a round 1 pick here. And another shock for me is Sir Pegasus, pick 90. I feel like he should have been round 1, pick 1, but Team Serene have snapped him up.
It's actually my highest round pick as well. I think previously it was round 100 for a certain Ox Gaming. unlucky they couldn't pick me up again. But your local pizza shop, I think, is the only name on here that I've not heard of before. I think actually Twin and Noodle as well. So these are going to be the 3 players that I'm looking to see how they can perform, especially the likes of Noodle being a 1530 pick. That's pretty high here for Challenger.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're excited to see what happens in round 6, I reckon.
Oh, here we go. It is Zach's. We've already seen that pick, but Forg did have 2 in a row, so I'm interested to see who their second right after one was, and it will, of course, be Rubik's 1500, who was a big contender in ERS Prospect last season. I had a few run-ins with him in my conference. A very strong player, and actually was on my list to potentially pick up a little bit later, but Forg just about getting there before me. An excellent pick yet again from Forg.
Yeah, Rubik's is going to be a really good pick for them. And Deathclad going with Belugi here, out the blue. I think that's going to be a really solid pick for them, and they've managed to snatch him up in round 6 at 1540.
Yeah, it's a big player here for 1540. These are the type that are going to be contending for those main spots on the roster. Potentially a star as well. I think preseason really going to dictate whether that player stays or not. But here we go with Akinos here for Brave Esports for 1450. One of the cheaper players here in Challenger. And again, it's about squeezing as much value as possible for those sub games that I can imagine for a player of that CMV. Not one I've personally heard of, but Brave Esports, a very good management, a very good addition here to RSC, and I'm a trust them on this one.
Yeah, he's in chat as well, very hyped by being picked. So very happy for your keynote.
Love that.
And for Templar, we're going to go for TX at 1505, pick 104.
Yeah, TX for Fort Templar has a very good team actually alongside him here for Fort Templar. That's going to be a very competitive preseason. I mean, it is that crunch time. It's when you have to make the tough decisions to cut players like Sir Pegasus. Isn't that right, Hecky?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That Sir Pegasus guy that I had to cut was one of the easiest decisions of my life. So maybe Fort Templar will have a different experience here.
Yeah, absolutely. Symbiote's gonna have another hard decision to make here with a 1545. It is Marbs, and they do have already quite a few high 1500s with Noodle, SNMP, and a Strizzle there in the running, and those are very good players as well. Of course, I have heard of Peep and a Strizzle before, so Symbiote's gonna have to be a team with a lot of options here to look at the end of preseason. But now going on to Volps, you see their logo twice at the bottom of the screen. They do get 2 in a row, and it's Mr. Eriksson 123 here for 1460. And I must say that is an excellent player for such a low CMV.
Yeah, Mr. Eriksson's always been one of the players that's gone, as you say, like, under the radar, but he's always shown up. He's always played really well, so that's really good for Mr. Eriksson.
And well, there was the freedom of free choice here for Volps Esports, 2 in a row. They must have been scrambling in the group chats, and it's Sparky Cracked who they've gone for a 1530 pick. And that's going to have to be a player who's going to have to compete with the likes of Vortex Blade, and I don't quite know how to pronounce that other player, CSXRA, however you do pronounce that, but Sixra, yeah, we'll go with that. That's very hard competition there, including Vortex, who I've definitely tried out myself and was on my list. So be interesting to see how that unfolds as we do move on to DSQ. And it is Hilo, a player which has been in the community for a very long time, especially in this kind of 1500-ish range. Always a good pick. And DSQ, it was no secret of a player, really, was it?
No, Ginger's always been around RSC. He's always been one of them players that's played really well. So that's good to see. I'm happy for Hilo on that one.
Oof, LZ244Z. Oh my goodness, what a name.
Yeah, he must have just punched his keyboard, had whatever came up, and just, select. So LZ244Z at 1525 going to Alpha Search.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. We do move on to Might of Hades. Who has Kevin picked up this time? It is Liam HN, a 1500 player. Another one, has been quite a theme for us here, Hecky. A player that does commonly go under the radar around this 1500 range. He's excellent. A round 6 pick, that does certainly surprise me. He could have gone a little bit earlier, I think.
Yeah, and he's got some strong competition, Potter, Pokoda, etc. It's going to be a really good team to try with. But Team Serene,
good pick.
picking
Good
Stuffy
pick.
Sticker 1455 with Akbo, Maxi, Banana, Oliver MH, and Sir Pegasus himself. That is looking like a solid team pick.
Oh, I would have to agree here. Saki Asaka, excellent player. It was a no-brainer for us, and I'm happy that we picked him up. But moving on to 20 Yar, it is Mayo Maki. Well, we've got Mayo Maki and Salt Skegger all on the same team. We've got a very hungry GM here for 20 Yar, but 1550 is an extremely high pick. I believe that's actually 10 off max here in Challenger, so a very big pick here for round 6.
Yeah, they must have seen Mayor, they must have seen Salt, and they must have thought, let's put them together. Let's see what we can cook up with this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And moving on to Azteca, it is Ghosty, a player which was just in between that range of either being prospect or challenger. He's really strong for both tiers, quite honestly. And it's a good pickup for Azteca. If he was on your radar, real ones know about Ghosty. Azteca certainly did. Excellent pick here for round 6.
Yeah, they've got 2 Ghosties on that roster, so that's going to be confusing comms for their teammate. But not going to be a confusing pick for Legend Mania with Noel at 1520. That's a solid pick with some very good teammates with Beep and Sheep and Mythics.
Yeah, certainly. This is another former teammate of mine, actually mine last season, 1520. That's a big CMV rise from before. Let's see if he can live up to it. But now we do have for Illusory, it is Juice for 1475. And there's already a 1490 and a 1440 on this team. But we're actually going into round 6. And, oh, sorry, I didn't see your local pizza shop as well. Quite a few actually in that kind of range for a 3rd or 4th pick for a team. A lot of competition there for Illusory.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we have Zeus going to Green Phoenix. Pick 116 with 1455 CMV. He's going to be playing with Hollow, Sinks, Specs, Gregor Bomber, and Senko. That's going to be a really good team to play with, Shakers.
Yeah, and lightning and fire type and flying type typically don't go together, but we'll see if it does here for Green Phoenix. Moving on to Shadow Esports, it is Dirt Fitty here, a 1575. This isn't a player that I'm personally aware of, but it's another very high pick that is going to be fighting for that spot, because usually when you get to these higher tiers, it means you have to sacrifice some of those middle players. That's just how the caps work here, and this is going to be a player that is absolutely joining in that battle.
Yeah, the Fitty's been around for a season or 2 now, and he's always played really well. So I'm excited to see how that goes over at that team. But Panthera going with Toxo at 1500. That's a very good player that should have gone way earlier, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is actually one of my early teammates for Team Serene. It was me, Toxo, and Nolarin, a 1500 pick. A very strong player defensively, but he's been making his game a lot more all-rounded recently in previous seasons. He was on Forg Apprentices before, a team that performed really well. A good pickup here for Panthera Esports, and definitely an option.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we're going to see Oliver going at 1510 to Sanctuary. Again, that's a solid pick with a player that's been around for a while, and he's again, should have gone in earlier rounds because of this.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Again, 15-10, very competitive, and you can see that match actually in his team with GM being one of the players he's going to be competing against, but the rest of the teammates, absolutely fantastic. Sanctuary have done a great job with that round 2 pick.
Yeah, no, Sanctuary are playing for the win here with that team. That's going to be a really good team to watch. And just like this one with Taffy Jones, 88, one of the Welsh goats in RSC. He's going to be playing really well at 1540 CMV.
Oh, hard playing 1545, Sensor 1545, and Nish 1560. It is going to be an absolute battle for the head table here at Systema Solaris in preseason, and I'm all for it. And before we do get that second Systema Solaris pick, we can have a little review of the options so far, and this is nice. It's a good mix of names I've seen before and haven't. I'm really interested to see Ghosty for Azteca, because that's a player who seems to be recently improving, having originally looked like he was perhaps going to be in prospect. I'm interested to see how he fares in Challenger and if he can improve even further.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rubik's as well at 1500 going to forward. That's going to be a really good play for him. He can have a really good time on that, as well as Taffy Jones going to Systema Solaris. Again, that's another solid pick. Solid picks all round in round 6 by the looks of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Challenger looking absolutely stacked this season, especially in that middle range, just around 1500 and actually in the high 1400s as well. And you can see that there's probably going to be a lot of managements that are going to have to make some very tough decisions at the end of pre-season, and those decisions might get even harder here in round 7. We had Taffy Jones 88 here for Systema Solaris, but they do get a second pick in a row. We saw this earlier with Vobs. Let's see how they handled it here for the Yellows. It's Vapids, a 1465, one of the lower picks, but not quite minimum. And I'm interested again to see how he performs. I believe it's actually a player I have heard of, and I've heard all round fairly strong. So interesting to see how he'll hold up here at Solaris.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's always been a solid player, and let's see what Death Cloud can do to follow that pick up.
Yeah, this is a pick from a new organisation. And new to the draft, and they've picked up Cali, and looking at their picks so far, Hecky, I'd say they've done a great job with it.
Yeah, Cali's always been a solid player, very very solid all round. Got some good skill behind him at 1495. That's a very good pick for Death Cloud Esports.
Certainly, and we are smoothly moving on to Panthera. We spoke about an organisation which has just joined RSC. Panthera, this is one with a lot of experience, and it stands in the franchise management as well, with Big Chebs, Andre and Spacey picking up Coach Ollie at 1540. I mean, he's got coach in the name. Not only if you pick him do you get a player, you get a coach as well. So 2 for the price of 1 here for 1540.
Yeah, they've got a good steal there, especially if he's a good coach. That's going to be really good for the guys, and he can be used in the other tiers as well. So, genuinely a good pick for Panthera there. But Vulpes at pick 124, having pairs, that's a good pick, Pegasus.
Yeah, this is one of those players which has just been going up and up and up in recent seasons. Originally in Academy at a tryout for a certain Team Serene roster, which he didn't quite get into. But then as time has gone on, he's gone better and better, made me regret my picks. He did well last season as well. I think he actually in ERS got credited with the win after entering a sub spot for the roster he was on. So 1510, looking to fight for main rosters now in the Challenger tier.
Absolutely, and T. Shedden at 1500 goes to Green Phoenix. Pick 125, Pegasus.
Yeah, Green Phoenix always seem to know what they're doing with their picks. They've got a really experienced franchise management with Stingray, Platroid and Shattered Fusion. Again, this is a player that has certainly gone under my radar. So another one that I'm interested to see how will turn out by the end of preseason and during the season if he remains on the team. A lot of competition within that 1500 range on that roster alone. So very interested to see how that ends up. But moving on to Illusory, it is Sphero here for Illusory. 1465, and we've actually seen quite a few 1400s picked up here for Illusory, and alongside the likes of Hunter and Krim, who seem almost locked to the roster. Actually Moro as well competing for that. Really strong picks here for Illusory. A few here that were definitely on my radar. It's going to be a fun preseason for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And another player that's having a fun preseason is Anton, going to Legend Mania at 1460. And moving very swiftly on to Azteca, Freestyler Chris going to be hitting double resets on everybody with the Ghosty Twins, Eugene, Venny, Shin and Kendo.
Former teammate of mine in ERS as well, and actually he's called Freestyler Chris not for his gameplay, but he's actually a freestyler dancer. He's really good at what he does. Talented in many ways, Mr. Freestyler Chris. But now here for 20R is Bentley 260, who's very talented for the Challenger tier as well, being 1560, very close to that maximum range, so could be an absolute force to be reckoned with on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like they've gone for Mayo Maki as their other higher player, and Saltskegger as well, and everyone else seems to be a bit on the lower side. So it's interesting to see how that plays out. And Team Serene, getting Tory HD at 1500. What a terrible, terrible pick by Team Serene.
Absolutely not. No. This was a Sir Pegasus call. Mock HD, welcome to Team Serene to represent the badge. He is my guy. Spent a lot of time with him at the London Major. Heard he's good at Rocket League as well, but that came from his own mouth. So, can't really trust what he says there. But excellent pick up here for Team Serene just before we move on to Fearless Esports, Masters and Kincaid. I'm interested to see who they picked up next, but Mock HD, welcome to the team.
Yeah, and another welcomed player is Lecky Speck being welcomed onto Fearless Esports at pick 131, 1490 CMV.
Yeah, this is a player I'm definitely aware of. Good pick for 1490, especially. It is so hard to take the picks from this 1500 around pool because there are just so many players, but that was definitely one that could have gone a little bit earlier. And then here for pick 132, it's Nyum 1480 here for Panthera Esports, and I must say, Hecky, I absolutely love the name here.
Yeah, he's going to be fast, like a fast car. He's going to be Newman past everybody, getting the ball and scoring on you. So you better watch out for Newman and Panthera.
Absolutely. And next we do have DSQ. Whoa.
Whoops.
Do you want to try and pronounce that name? Whoops. Yeah?
I think it's going to be Whoops.
Yeah, sure.
15-15 going to DSQ. Maybe a Whoops mistake, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see the gameplay.
Yeah, this is a player that I'm actually not aware of, but, it's always these new names that end up winning the trophies, isn't it, Hecky? The ones you don't suspect, so I'm interested to see how that one will unfold. Same here for W.NTR here for Volps Esports at 1520. Again, the names that go under the radar and are in this middle tier are usually the ones to decide who wins in Challenger. Me and Hecky have definitely fallen for that trap before.
Yeah, absolutely. You always want your familiar names. But the new players are always the ones that play really well. They feel like they have something to prove, So that's a very good pick for Vulpers. And Panthera next. They're going to grab Oxio, or Oxid, at pick 135, 1465 CMV. Pegasus, what are we saying?
It's another 1465, a player who's going to have a lot to compete with, including Nyum from before. They've had, I believe it's 3 picks here in round 7. Coach Ollie and Nyum as well. So they've gone all in here right at the bottom of the Challenger draft. And I'm just interested to see how that one unfolds. But now here for Symbiotes, it's Twins. Again, another 2 for the price of 1 here for 1470.
Yeah, great player. 1470 is an absolute steal for Twins. So that's a great pick by Symbiotes, and he should have gone way earlier, in my opinion.
They've gone for a lot of those mid to high 1500s as well, so a player like Twins at 1470 was definitely needed for that team composition, so that's one that's looking likely to stay if I were to make a guess. But here for Fort Templar, it's, I want to say, Mr. Squoozy here for 1460, and I mean, Challenger keeps on delivering with these excellent names. A 1460 who doesn't look to have actually all that much competition here for Fort Templar. I'm interested to see how he performs in pre-season.
Yeah, they've gone for everybody above 1500 except for Enzane and Voodoo. So maybe they're going to be fighting for the fourth man spot on the team.
And now for Brave Esports, it is Make for 1565, a very expensive player left to almost the very end, a penultimate pick. He's going to have a lot to prove here for NC Subsan and Fatty Kyle, and I wish him the best of luck as he does so, especially with that team he's got alongside him. He's in excellent hands and excellent management as well here.
Absolutely, and let's see who Deathcloud have ultimately picked to close out the Challenger draft in RSC14. And they have gone with Auction. Last but definitely not least, great player, always results in good results. 15-15, a very good solid pick for Deathcloud.
Yeah, he's a caster as well. He goes by Aaron, has been prospects in RSC and Academy in ERS in recent seasons. This is definitely his big break, and he's got a lot to prove here, and to do it on Death Cloud alongside his mate as well, actually, Kieran, to be fair. He's got a lot of work to do, and I'm interested to see if he can pull it off. But there you go. There are, I believe, the 19 picks here for round 7. We couldn't quite get to 140 this time. And overall, it's some good final snags here. I look at pairs for Volps Esports, Mock HD for Team Serene as well, and actually Freestyler Chris for Azteca, who I do think is a decent pickup for that kind of mid-1400s kind of range. So definitely last but very not least for a lot of these players, like you said.
Yeah, I know we all joke about Tory HD, but he is genuinely a decent player, so that's a very good pickup for Team Serene. Like you said, Pairs, a very solid player. Vapids as well, under the radar a lot, but he's always a really good player. So
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was the challenger picks. And Mal, big smile on his face. He's absolutely loved clicking his mouse constantly towards this draft and hearing myself and Hecky waffle. And overall, very good final selections. It's going to be really hard to break down some of those teams. And I see Mal shaking his head about hearing us waffle, Hecky. I mean, we should start a podcast and we'll force this guy to listen as punishment.
I think that's a great plan. We'll lock him up in chains, put headphones on him, and he'll just sit there and listen.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed seeing the challenger picks. I hope you got the organisations that you wanted, but we are going to swiftly move over to Prospect after this short little break.
Peace.
Sometimes a disaster, sometimes we get free. Oh, you take the long way to stay close to me. I don't want another, I just wanna breathe. You take me higher, you stay close to me. Oh, I feel so alive, feel so alive. The dark won't close my eyes. Yeah, I feel so alive, feel so alive. Oh, we chase the night. Oh, I feel so alive, feel so alive. The dark won't close my eyes. Yeah, I feel so alive. Sometimes a disaster, sometimes we get free. Oh, you take the long way to stay close to me. I don't want another, I just wanna breathe. You take me higher, you stay close to me. Oh, I feel so alive, feel so alive. The dark won't close my eyes. Yeah, I feel so alive, feel so alive. Oh, we chase the night. Oh, I feel so alive, feel so alive. The dark won't close my eyes. Yeah, I feel so alive, feel so alive. Oh, we chase the night.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lord. Happy birthday to you.
It is the RSC season draft of number 14, and it is, shall we say, a proud day. There is a few birthdays here, and George, one of course, remain in the background involved in the draft here. It is a big 22 for him here, but we will have the off-putting singing to one side here, but a huge thank you to Mal and everybody else joining in. And we will move, unfortunately, to the prospects. There will be no birthday cake for us just yet here. But we'll have Marco for Fearless's pick at 81st here. But Pig, I mean, you're going to probably be having a long night there of celebrations.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do have Morikonda here, 1290, pick 81, and no, that isn't George's age here. Moving on to pick 82, it is 20R with Rainbow Coated Goat in a C or Fearless here. I think they already had 3 picks in round 4, and I can tell you now, ladies and gentlemen, they've got a lot in round 5 to follow, but 20R picking up where they can. It's an excellent pick here for 82 before the Fearless, Masters, and Kincaid sweep.
Well, from that one there, and hence we'll be moving to the 83rd pick with Fearless as well, and somebody I knew quite well and very dear to my heart, but unfortunately no longer there. But used to say this line quite a lot, but quite literally the name of the player as well too. Skill issue?
Apparently so. 1150 for Skill Issue. He is a minimum pick, and that is just such an excellent name. I really want him to do well, and I definitely, Danny, want us on a cast with Skill Issue sometime.
It'll be certainly something when it does happen, but with loads of space scripts here for Death Cloud, of course, Misty Dragon here at 1150, but we'll be mounting on to, it was meant to be Maisie joining us here for a prospect, but sadly not able to, so must be a lot of work being happening here at the background for the picks ourselves here.
Yeah, we are about to move on to her very organisation. It is going to be Volps Esports picking up, actually as their 4th pick, it is Stork. They sacrificed round 4, they took that risk, they've gone to round 5. They've been able to pick up a very good player here for 1305. Despite the sacrifice pick, Volps looking to do a great job here in Prospect.
Well, the Fearless 3rd pick within round 5, of course, is Worky Boy himself at 1280 here. They're got near enough a cabinet of prospect players. It's going to be an interesting one here, but we'll move to Mighty Hades respectively. So here, the few big numbers still left to be on the right-hand side of our sheet. Will Kevin be brave enough to go for the big picks yet?
Oh, he certainly has, Danny boy. This is a former Team Serene player and one that showed up to all my trials, privates included. It is, of course, Ninja Knight 93 for 1415. He is an excellent player for that range, but he's got a very tough player in the form of Jay Leno to compete against for that position, I should think.
I'm going to be really cheeky here and steal a line that Saw said in the background. Is everybody a teammate of yourself here, Pig? Seem to be knowing everybody here.
I've been around for a while in these lower tiers, let's just say, Danny boy, but here for Brave Esports is Mr. X, someone who actually isn't a former teammate of mine here for 1230, and again, I'm interested to see how this player will perform. It is the 2nd one in that kind of 1200 range, but moving on now, it is Fort Templar. They do have a great team so far, and we did mention Source Frost looking to be a teammate of his, or one battling for his position here at 1390.
I don't think Sauce looks too bothered at the moment on this one, but we'll move over to Fearless, another pick by them. And it will be, of course, interesting to see at this one. I can't confidently say this without even knowing who it is yet. I haven't been a teammate of theirs, but we'll be looking at the TSYN of 1425 here. I feel quite bad here because that one's going to be a nightmare to sort out here for Fearless. I think that's 2 different conferences, or 2 tiers. They've got about 10 picks roughly, so quite a lot here to sort out for their sake.
I don't know if I feel more stressed here for the players or the management, but Tyson, also known as LMAX back in the day, fantastic pick there for Fearless. But moving on to Alpha Surge, it is Bogdan, who's another player who's been around for quite some time here. This is another organisation which sacrificed their round 4 pick, and even still, picking up a very good team so far with the likes of Tom Bast, a very strong player for 1425. Alpha Surge in good shape.
Legend Media up next here with the Silver Sting Light himself here. That will be moving with the high picks of 1400. They've yet to breach that threshold yet here, so it's nice to see them decide to go with a late pick there. But Aztec Esports here, they will be looking like some potentially subs roughly with the names we've got left here. And I believe they may have got a few high picks from earlier, if I do recall correctly.
Well, there's a red in Charlie, there's a red in Rival, and there's a very red 69 in Prospect as well. A 12 and 15 pick here, competing for a spot on Azteca Esports. And, well, it's a yellow team signing a red player. I'm interested to see how he'll perform. 2 colours that I would say go well together.
Well, if it is with Forge there, it would be interesting to hear how this one be going. But we do have purple and pink in terms of the casting booth there. Very bright headset Pegasus is sporting, but we'll be going right back to the black and red of Shadow Esports. Will they have an illusion-like pick, or will it be cast into the shadow itself?
And here for Shadow Esports, it is Vet CJ, plenty of letters on the screen, 1410, so a lot of skill to match him as well. He's got a very good team alongside him. Ozan Hell at C and Vild. Shadow Esports, going to be a force to be reckoned with here.
And Nad, and I'm not being boring or rude here, that is literally the player's name at Solaris at 1119. Sanctuary up next, of course, will be... Do you know what? They normally provide strong rosters around this sort of level, but Green Phoenix in the last few seasons has played Blinders and Prospects, but it is Jim Jams at 1300, but no Phoenix, but we do go to Symbiotes next.
And I think this was one of the only weaker first round picks here for Sanctuary in terms of where their lottery went, but still they've managed to make an excellent team. And moving on to Symbiotes, it's going to be Janman 13 joining a team of Envy, Swift, Neuronics and Polar. There are some very established names on that roster and competing against the likes of the round 1 pick Polar for that 1150 spot on the team. I think it's going to be quite tough for him, but I'm interested to see if he can live up to it.
Well, the DSQ sandwich with Serene in the middle here, but it is the 99th pick in the final 2. Will be rounded up with the AGM sitting below me here into the booth here, but it is you are casual 7 digits 1320, but the man who might have an idea where we'll be going next, who have you perhaps selected for the first 20 on day 2 of the prospect drafts?
Well, it's pick 100, our first 3 digits. It's going to be Dank Avocado here for Team Serene, and we had some really good first 4 picks. So here in round 5, Dank Avocado definitely going to be competing for that spot, and we do have a pick right after as well to add to the mix. Overall, I'm very happy with how Team Serene Prospects picks have gone so far.
Well, Fearless will be having a few words on their particular picks 4 and this one here. A bit of a range, a few favourites from chats as a reaction, but it will be somewhat how it goes about it from that one. But Prospect still a hefty tier in terms of numbers. I believe we're going to be knocking here on to round 8 as well, so we might as well go to round 6 Pegasus here for the 101st pick, and we'll be going back to the likes of yourselves here, but will we be going down the pipe, or again, we'll be facing a certain character.
And here for pick 101, just after Dank Avocado, we had a 1200 pick, and I'm going to tell you now, it's another player competing for a similar position. It's a him, Mario, here for 1205. Pick 6 here for Team Serene, and it's just another player to add into that 1200 mix. All of these ones are going to have to really compete for their spot, and I'll be watching closely.
And there we go to Lucy at that 1 at 102 for DSQ. Symbiote's been falling shortly after that. We did see the casual digit earlier, the likes of Finney and Char from Listerday, who will be bolstering that roster. Sanctuary, Sorcery, and of course Shadow here. A lot of S's here, but we'll be rolling on quite nicely. We'll be breaking a few things up here for the 103rd pick here.
Symbiotes, this is an organisation which has had a lot of history in the past in Chill's world for 1360, looking to be a part of that here on this prospect roster. And again, every time I see those previous picks of the left-hand side, I think what an excellent roster that is. 1360, this is going to be the second player actually in that 1300 kind of range, albeit Neuronix very close, only 5 CMV closer. It's going to be one of the higher ones here for Symbiotes, and I'm interested to see how he contests. But here for Sanctuary, it is the Master Kulag for 1205, a player that I have heard of and have also heard some very nice things about. So alongside the likes of Tavish, Yeet Yeet Kid, Ozzy, Prezes and Jim Jams, Sanctuary, I've got a good couple of picks for them.
Now we'll go to, of course, Solaris, following for the 105th pick itself here. Wouldn't be no surprise here that late in the draft here, it is the keeper, former admin and former Yannick's here. Has been a decent player before, but can he go the distance this time around in Season 14? That will be a question for him. But Shadow Esports, they're up next here. And Joe Watts here, is this a surprise or not? Well, the man below certainly knows more than I on this particular side.
Unfortunately, not this player specifically. Is going to be Ritzasos here, 1250 for Shadow Esports. For me, this is a shot in the dark for Shadow. I'm sure they may have tried him out and know that he is good. And with the picks so far we've seen from Shadow Esports, I can back them to pick excellent players. So Ritzasos, one to look out for, I think, here.
Well, we'll go straight over to Forge now at the 107 pick here. And Pig there getting a few laughs and celebrations, and is the cake going to his head with the sugar rush? But the Averia at 1300 will be going now straight back over to the Aztecs once more. And you know what? Has the sugar rush gone to your head yet?
Definitely not sugar, but here for Forge Esports we do have Aviator at 1300, and again, very strong roster so far in Prospect. I mean, I think this has been one of the most packed seasons so far, I would actually say, for Prospect, but I've certainly seen, but that might just be a result of me knowing more of the players and knowing how good some of these picks actually are nowadays.
Certainly so, and the picks themselves will be certainly a surprise or two. 108th pick coming up here, of course, will be looking quite favourably towards itself here, and it is Lupe himself who comes in at 1360, the first one in a while here by their standards. A high pick in the Grand Slam world, being of course part of the management sort of side of things, if I remember correctly. So it will be interesting how that one comes about.
This is a player I've tried out before. He's fantastic, really mechanical for Prospects. I'm honestly surprised he was such a late pick. Definitely going to mix things up there for Azteca. But moving on to Legend Mania, you know him, you love him, is of course formerly Garlic Bwedi at 1325.
Well, there's certainly no rules coming with that one. I will correct, not the former, of course, part of the management of the previous person I've just mentioned there. But Green Phoenix up next for the 110th pick in round number 6 itself here. There will be a few clear moments here. We'll be looking at the likes of Stingray here. What has he got here? And a classic line in commentary, but not necessarily. And a bit of a delay here and a bit of distance on the travel.
Ooh.
Like it's maybe perhaps the eye test feeling here, but it should be Roma coming up here. But I think this might be the first real issue that's happened on stream, and trust me to get it. So while we do have a technical issue, I don't know if we're going to need a break here, but Mal looking at it, and there is a lot of talking happening behind the scenes, and it's not a lot of happy faces here.
Oh, it's unfortunate, and well, Roma has somehow broken the streak. It's a great experience for him. Hopefully he can break the tier as well for Green Phoenix. I can tell you now, it's very small writing, but he is 1345. It's another one I haven't quite heard of, but Roma, very good football team. Let's see if it's a good player as well here for RSC Prospects on Green Phoenix. And he is still frozen there in the distance, and we might not see him now, but we will later as the season continues and he starts making a greater name for himself.
Well, finally Roma is in the spotlight, rightly deserved. Big names now finally. It's no longer a trip to maybe Specsavers. Other opticians are available, but frankly, I do need probably a new pair at this point. But illusory with Hansen coming in 14.25. I believe that may have been a name talked about earlier in the day itself here, but we'll be going to Mal himself here with Fort Templar. What have you got for us here?
For Friday D-Lunch Jamal, it's a very, very good franchise management. And popping up, it is Majora unmasked here for 13.50, round 6, pick 112 for Fort Templar. And again, it's another player for Streamer Source to be contesting with, because there's another one in that 1300 range here.
I don't think Sauce looks too bothered on this one. If he's playing, he's playing. If he's not, he's not. But Brave Esports there, we will always refer to the sort of the Scottish organisation due to its heritage and links here. But Void was earlier, his gag mag at that point at 1370. Pantheria, of course, we should well mention it, slightly a different logo compared to Listerine, looking a lot sharper here, a lot more threatening. Will this one be a pounce or a pearl?
Oh, I'm very interested to see this next Panthera pick. We've shown a great one here for Brave Esports, which, like I said before, have a great roster ahead of them. Just seen the name changing. But Panthera Esports for pick 114 even. They have Daniel MQ72 here for 12.55. This is, I believe, their second lowest pick so far. They have sacrificed a pick somewhere down the line here. I think it was in that round 5 I do want to see. So 12.55 here for Daniel, and I'm interested to see how he will compete. But Sanctuary, this is one that I've had a lot of picks so far, and they do have IC Reset here as a minimum pick for 11.50.
Certainly so. We'll be going to Macy's franchise. Well, of course, a loss as well too. We did have a few name changes there. It's called a few labs from ourselves here, from Young Mutts and Toll, but not there. But a few maybe stuttering words here, and across a 1300 following suit here. We will be then going to Deathcloud, Mighty Hades 20R, and then Alpha Surge to wrap up, of course, the next 20 here. It's going quite nicely here, but Deathcloud with Spacey, what's picked?
They're looking to finish things out with a bang here in round 6 with Nafang G 1869 with an 1185 CMV. It says it's been 3 hours so far of a stream, but we've still got a while to go here in Prospect. And looking down our list, we've got some excellent names still waiting to be drafted. And it does start off here with Might of Hades' Anu at 12.45.
Certainly, so 20R will be happily looking at their list here, and will be certainly wondering what is next. There's not many players in the grand scheme of things to pick from, but pure skill, hopefully matching the name. Actually, the highest in terms of CMV value here, Vibs from P2. So they got the player that, in theory, that they should have got here. Is that maybe to put a bit of competition in pre-season itself here? We'll wait to see on that one.
Certainly, Pure Skill is an excellent player. Again, it's one of those that I'm surprised wasn't picked up in those earlier rounds. And Vibs, he was picked too, but he still might have a little bit of competition. But ending off here, this round 6 is Alex for Alpha Surge for 11.95 here. And they've only had one other 1100 so far, being Bogdan, who's an established name here in Prospect. So Alex definitely has some competition ahead of him, but I do think this is another great pick here for Alpha Surge, who have actually sacrificed their round 3 pick to get here.
And the summary is coming up next, of course, and the brief bit of it here. And we've been kicked off here, Pegasus itself here.
Oh!
Don't believe the man himself here. I believe Mel may be enjoying the name changes too much here for his own good. But there it is, the likes of Roma, who caused the stream to necessarily cause an eye test. The likes of Anu, who's been touted as maybe one of the best here. Mario, who's been joked around here with Pegasus. So a few names here that's been looked around here, but others here seem to be playing a steady game so far.
Yeah, I'm looking at the names like Loopy, like Bwedi, like Pure Skill that are definitely going to have to fight for their space on the roster, but are certainly players that are capable of doing so and changing the minds of GMs and AGMs here in pre-season. So I'm very interested to see how those picks unfold. We've seen plenty of picks here for Masters organisation so far, but they didn't actually get a pick in this round, and you're seeing the likes of other teams that have sacrificed an earlier pick and have gotten their fourth or fifth here in round 6, and I'm equally interested to see how they compete against the likes of Fearless Esports, which have gone so far in here for Prospect.
Well, certainly so. We are going to the full final round of number 7 of the Prospect here, but not necessarily the completed. We do have a round 8 for Prospect itself at 121. We're back at Alpha Surge and it's OTA Carp at 1190. This one will be certainly filling out the bench potentially. So here, this is necessarily not the lowest, but it is look like in the 4th place in terms of the sub. But 20R, what have we got next from yous?
Let's see who Offanim has picked up here with the advice, of course, of Dandarank and Blizzy. It will be, here for pick 122, it is Kobe for 1275, and we're getting in that range now where I think we're going to see a lot of these lower picks start to find themselves in here for these organisations competing for spots, and 20R no strangers to that, and it is a return of an organisation which we've seen plenty of on these draft streams for Prospect. It is, of course, Fearless Esports with Kinsey, a 1400 to add to that very large roster here in Prospect.
Yeah, well, they're going to have some overnight nightmares here by the Death Cloud sandwich here. They've got another one coming up here, so back-to-back Hubble at 1285 following suit here, and we'll be going to, of course, the Fox. What will they be looking towards next here? I would suspect they want to go for a high pick in the grand scheme of things.
It's a franchise management that are all good friends of mine, Avelios, Maisie and Maui. Picking up another player here is going to be, I want to say, Kazarek Kaka here for 1310 for Volps Esport. This is a player that has definitely gone under my radar, and there's actually quite a lot of 1300 picks here for Volp, so it's going to be another pre-season, not quite like Fearless Esports, where there are going to have to be some very tough decisions here.
Well, Death Cloud, they've seen a few picks from them as well too, so there's going to be a few franchises with difficulties in terms of who do you cut and who do you keep. But again, they've got a few weeks, of course, to sorting that one out. Death Cloud, what have you got next here? Aspect 1, the second one we've called out tonight as well. But this is definitely the one at 1295 here. So Green Phoenix following a suit here, of course, and they're looking to balance out their roster likewise here.
Well, you've got to trust every single pick here. I mean, they do have Stones as part of their management, and he's been known as the king of prospect for quite some time by some, but looking to enter that mix, it is, I want to say, like 11 BB here for Green Phoenix, trying to enter the ranks at 1280. Definitely one of the lower picks here in terms of both CMV and just overall pick rounds, but still can be a player to make an impact for Green Phoenix.
Brave following up suit here, the Green Phoenix bookshelves there, but they have gone for their 120th of Platoon Peaky of 1305 here, the third one within that range here, so potentially looking at your third here, but again, there's still lots of time to go for, and they may actually have, and by the looks of it, potentially their last pick here, so they've got to work with what they've got here at this point for Templar. With the likes of Mal, who I presume had a bit of an input, but more likely it's Friday calling the shots here. This is their turn at the 129th mark.
And this is actually going to be a player I have heard of here for Fort Templar. It is Eviolites for 1205. That's an excellent pick for that kind of CMV range. It has been a late one here for Fort Templar, and it's one that I'm surprised has gone a little bit under the radar so far in the draft.
Not late, but still, of course, within the action itself here, 130 pick halfway through round 7. Illusory with the leading by Rahu, the GM here, going Samuel Horsfield at 1150. Of course, with Tooten and Nika at those respective two below the 1400 marks, likely being the two pair there. It's who balances that roster. Green Phoenix once again with Stingray. We just saw their previous pick here. They're going with Razor at 1410. Back over to Legend Media here, who's been a little bit quiet here. What have we got next?
Yeah, definitely, and I just want to point out that's the only 1400 plus pick there for Green Phoenix, so very late to try and double your way into those high CMV players, but I'm interested to see how Razor can perform here for Green Phoenix. But now moving on to Legend Mania, we said it has been some time now, and it is in fact a Twitch streamer, C_DYX. I mean, be sure to check him out after this stream is over, but of course do not leave yet. We do have just a couple more picks to go through now.
Certainly so. Of course, picks are streaming, the likes of GCXL streaming as well. Not to give them a shout out just because they're on that, but you know, in terms of attack, it will be there. Merv, who does a lot of streaming here for RSC. Of course, league play coming up shortly, so hopefully you'll be tuning in. Don't forget to follow down below, YouTube link as well for past results, or Twitter for the latest action. But Forge with Wolfie usually on top of the tree here with, well, Luke's XD there at 395. They're shy up the 1400 mark, so potentially your main star player. But Shadow, what's lurking under the carpet here?
Shadow, it's a pick from Mr. Efficiency, Deadly Dom, and Mithral. We will move over shortly, and I have had a look at the player upcoming, and I will say it is one that I have definitely seen before. He was on my list, and there was a big groan when I saw his name pop up on the sheet because he's not signed for Team Serene. He's signing for this excellent Shadow Esports side. It is Wally for 14-15. Should have gone much earlier. Excellent player. Been in a lot of my trials, private included. The same actually as this next Systema Solaris player. So it was 2 punches to the gut here for Team Serene. I will say that.
Well, if he's as good as you suggest, why didn't you pick him earlier? Ooh,
that's a discussion for me to pick.
Masia, of course, they're coming at 14-20. A bit of drama potentially. There might be a bust up in casters, not for the first time, but Death Cloud here. There might be an eruption coming here with their particular one here.
Yeah, Mustafa, he's fantastic for 14-20, one of those higher picks, and like I said before, was really surprised he didn't go earlier, but they did have Sheep first pick, another player who was at that very same private tryout, so fantastic there for them. But moving on to Death Cloud Esports, it is Beer Magian, I want to say, for 1185. There's been lots of picks here actually for Death Cloud Esports after they did double up in round 7, and actually not too many in that 1100 range. I believe only Nafang 1869 being 1185, so some competition there for Death Cloud.
Certainly, so Biam coming out just at 1295 for the only one actually matching Axe earlier, but I would imagine them and Polar would be the likely starting players with a DSQ's 139th pick. Of course, Iceman 18, just shy of the 1300 mark again. 3 players within a similar margin there, but we'll go for our final pick of round 7, and we'll go to Team Serene.
And yes, it was Meaty Pig 999 on the draft here. And for pick 140, the final one of round 7, he did in fact pick up for a 1360 CMV Marzek 97. I don't believe this is anyone who was in any of my lobbies for the tryouts, but it's another one that I'm very interested to watch for the first time here in pre-season. So welcome to Team Serene. Show us what you've got.
Well, round 7 has also shown 20 more names added on to it, like the Carp, Kobe, Cannibal from earlier, Aspect likewise here, Platoon Picky, but again, some unknown quantity, some previously has played, of course, within the league itself. It's what have you got to offer and what you're capable of doing. But round 7 completed, done and dusted. The last segment of the draft itself, of course, remaining with Prospect in round 8 here. Not many times we've said that, but we'll go back to the likes of Mini Pig and Sir Pickens himself with Team Serene. That was their previous pick. 141st. Where have you gone?
Well, we've just picked up a 1360, so why not follow, of course, with a 1375 with Asake. There's going to be a lot of competition here in the 1300 range for Team Serene. Pre-season is definitely going to define a lot of things here, but just another player that I'm excited to watch for, well, for me anyways, for the first time.
Well, Nations with DSQ and his management team at the back will be looking with Ajay Shib at 1270 here, but unknown to myself here, but let's keep on rolling here. Symbiote's up next here with Not Liam in terms of the AGM and Co. Barely mentioned his name other than Elite earlier. What has he got?
And they have had two picks fairly close together, Symbiotes, after getting pick 138. And here in the later picks within the final five, they do get Diogarco SL for 1425. One of the more expensive picks, actually their most expensive pick so far here for Symbiote, so it's going to be competing against the likes of Swift with that round one pick being an 1150 Polar, so I'm very interested to see how that team unfolds.
Well, the highest player has been called up, a Fran for Sanctuary at 1150 with Krazers, GM667B Shake the management. That's the last decision they'll be making this draft here, but of course trades still could be offered, moved around here. But Shadow, efficiency themselves here, what have they got?
Well, here it's actually a Systema Solaris beforehand, and it is a Retro 556 at 1150. It is a minimum pick, one that I haven't seen around, but it's going to have to be competing against the likes of round 3 pick Draka here. So it's going to be tough for this player, definitely looking to make a name for themselves. And Systema Solaris, a very good organisation, a very good place to do so.
Well, a bit eager on myself calling that one. We might as well go to the one I've just mentioned, but rightly so. They have gone for, of course, target of rolling there at 1200. But I do believe in Pegasus for the 147th and final pick of this season's draft, we will be going to Forge.
Wolfie and Keza, the illusion of the freedom of choice, as this is the final pick here, and it will be, when we move across, I'll give you a little bit of a heads up. It will be an 1150. It will be another minimum. It will be Matey Post 1 at 1150. Actually, the only minimum pick here for Forge. So actually, a pick they definitely required here. So you could say it was a little bit of luck here for Forg, but maybe it's a good pickup as well here. I'm interested to see how he'll perform, just like quite a lot of these players that I'm not quite aware of here in Prospect.
Well, certainly so. Those are the 7 last remaining picks here. Of course, the franchises knew what they were doing. The fact that we talked about Symbiotes, the highest remaining CMV player left. Of course, Forge with the last player just under the 1200 mark here. So a lot in terms of balance and a lot of decisions to be, of course, happening here. I think it would be fair to briefly head over, I believe, to where we're slightly wrap things up here. Maybe Mal back on our screens or not here, but we have a second Pegasus here looking very confused here about the ones on this one. So frankly, see, Mal has decided to play a few bits of trickery onto this one. Down below, of course, like so Brave, Solaris, and of course Serene is the sponsorship of the seasons of number 14. But Pig, any few final bits before we wrap up here our RSC's draft for the season here?
Wow, I can't think of anything worse than having two Picasai on screen. There we go, it's all fixed. There is big man Malachi himself. But overall, that's the draft done. I do want to give a big thank you, of course, to Danny Boy, who was on the desk alongside me. He's done a lot of the organisation work here for these draft streams. They're very long ones. We've had Mal and Source in the background for both of them as well. They've been doing all the work here. They've made this all possible, and I hope it's been entertaining for everyone. But please do, if you do have the time, give a thank you to Mal, Danny Boy, Source, and some of the other more consistent show-ups here. So I think of the like of Daromas, I do think of Hecky, and a couple extras as well that have been on these streams. Thank you so much for this. These were all the picks for RSC. I want to say it is 14 AGM, by the way. Yes, indeed it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Prove yourself for your spots, and hopefully you do not get chopped down by the end of preseason. Good luck out there, and of course that goes to my players as well.
Well, it's a very heartfelt and warm message there from, of course, an AGM. He'll be doing battle. A lot of people will be staying here and doing, of course, a big thank you, of course, to the administration staff and all to the RSC, the likes of Ark and Mutz going around here. But there's been a few whisperings around here behind the scenes. And unfortunately for myself personally, this may be my last appearance of the season and maybe for a while too. So there have been a few disappointments on this one, but when you give a promise, I try to keep it as best I could. So with that saying the case for myself here, this may be a heartfelt goodbye, but don't be a stranger. But this league will still carry on strong enough. The likes of Pegasus will be here and be speaking on your streams as well too. We will see Mal's beautiful face as well at some point, and no doubt, and Sauce, who's been the technical wizard here, who's been helping out quite a lot. But from all of us here at RSC, we'll be wishing you good luck for your season. To the viewers who just tuned in for the first time, you're in for a treat here. The best league and myself will be sitting there saying that, and Elite itself is certainly worth watching. But from all of us, it's a heartfelt good night. Good luck to everybody else.
The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.